T20 League 2025. We are live at the SLC grounds and another game coming up, and this time it is going to be the Blues who really need to win this game against the GREYS. So that is the game coming up, and a new captain for the Blues today. It is going to be Nissanka, just in case you caught a glimpse of that picture of Nissanka. And very quickly, to try and show you where the weather is, the wind speed is quite good. The minimum temperatures have been generally in the 26 and the maximum is 30, though I tend to feel a little bit warmer. The sun is really beating down on us and it's quite hot, and this is what happened in that last game. The Blues once again had a moment where they were in with a great chance. They were not chasing a big score. 158 is all what they were after, with Kamindu Mendes making 50, Chamika Karunaratne once more getting together in that partnership, and just look at what the Blues got in the end. Kusal Perera got injured, so 86 for 9, and it was Dushan Hemantha with 4 for 18 who bowled absolutely brilliantly in the middle. So let's also show you the points table to understand where the teams are. The Blues are in a precarious position. The net run rate is -2, which means they got to get a lot of runs here against the GREYS, who are also on a minus. But the Blues, they'll have to score plenty of runs. I haven't done my calculations, but you need to overcome that minus run rate and also to try and get a positive rate. That's not going to be easy. But first and foremost, Favis Maharup with me, Blues need to win.
They need to win big, Roshan. -2, it's something that you hardly see in a 3-2 tournament or even 4-team tournament. So they got to win, and they got to win by massive margin if to have any chance of going to the finals.
Indeed, no doubt, but let's focus on that last game. Once more there was trouble, and then Kamindu Mendes came to the party. What an innings that was.
Yeah, superb. I mean, he played a timely knock along with Chamika Karunaratne, of course. Kamindu Mendes, for me, is something that I found out in this tournament is becoming a leader. Not only in the field, even the way he took the responsibility of playing the anchor role or playing the responsibility to knock. That's something that I like about, and that's something that I'm going to take a lot out of Kamindu Mendes. And certainly on these performances, individually as well as a team, the way he has captained, I reckon one more name in the hat of leaders going forward.
Just dwelling a little bit on Kamindu Mendes. Now, I know there were questions asked about his position in T20 cricket, because yeah, he was having a good time with red ball, but white ball, especially T20, he was struggling. But do you think performances like this will kind of, strengthen his case?
Certainly it will. And I mean, as you correctly said, even I believe he's not cemented himself in the T20 side. He has a lot to work to, and he has to be more consistent to keep that position batting at number 4. So I reckon this is, of course, these performances will be taken into consideration. That's why these kind of tournaments are being played to 1 or 2 places from the scratch to be bought, as well as some of the players who are not in good form to find some form before the Zimbabwe and the Asia Cup. So everything what we expect from a senior player like Kamindu Mendes, he has achieved as an individual and as a leader for the Greens.
Right. Now, what we also need to understand here is that Wanindu Hasaranga is not available because he's injured, and so Dushan Hemantha has been outstanding every time he's been given the ball, whether he bowled in the middle or bowled towards the end, or even when he batted. How impressed are you with Dushan Hemantha?
He's like the Jeffrey Van Dese in ODI, isn't it? Like Jeffrey Van Dese, whenever he gets opportunity in one days, he does well. And Dushan Hemantha has also, whenever he's given the opportunity, with the absence of Wanindu Hasaranga, he has grabbed the situation and the opportunity with both hands. So it's good to have a headache when it comes to selection. You need much more players. You need a pool of players to select with. So certainly these kind of performance, 4 for 18 against a side which were looking tottering from the word go, like the Blues. But nevertheless, leg spinner, what he can do best is to land the ball on the right position and make sure you pick up wickets.
Also, what we need to understand, and people watching need to understand, is what should the leg spinner do, especially in the middle phase of a T20 game. Now, we know there are 3 phases. We know the last 5 overs, we know the power play, but the middle phase is so important. How does he kind of make that decision? Do I go for wickets, or do I, keep runs down?
It all depends on the individual you're bowling against, as well as the dimensions, how big the stadium is. So these things matters, and also situation of the game. So ideally, if I'm the captain, if I have a leg spinner or a wrist spinner in the middle overs, I expect him to pick up wickets. Yes, he can be a bit expensive, can be 7 to 8 runs per over, but I still take it if you can give me 2-3 wickets. So for me, they are like gold dust.
Interesting thoughts, no doubt. Yeah, bowling in the middle overs, leg spinners, they are gold dust indeed. Now, talking about gold dust, let's take a look at the pitch. Fawis Maroof was taking a close look a little while earlier.
It's an absolute scorcher of a day. A couple of days before, SSC and entire Colombo experienced a heavy downpour. Yesterday, there was no rain. Groundsman curator had plenty of time to roll the pitch and get it prepared. And we have a strip which has not been used, looks wonderful. Almost similar to the two pitches adjoining. And this looks, for me, much more better in color as well as when it comes to grass covering. That suggests to me that the skidding on to the bat with the fast bowlers must be much more. And the speed of the pitch will be much more as well. I'm saying it because simply last couple of games the pitch was slightly damp underneath, but here I don't see any when it comes to today. So I reckon a 180 is a must. Yes, the Blues have been struggling. If they bat first, they have to find a way to go 180. But if they don't, they need to somehow pick up wicket to stay in the hunt. Overall, I think conditions are ideal for a game of T20.
Ideal pitch for a game of T20 cricket. You said it's a new surface, right? So you think today and tomorrow this surface and a final another one? Or let's talk about this surface first.
I mean, talking to the curator, he said it's going to be the same pitch today and tomorrow, and the final is going to be the pitch which we played the first and the second game. Okay. I mean, considering the last game, Roshan, it was slightly damp, but this looks absolutely fine. Yesterday, no rain at all, plenty of time to roll and get the moisture out of it. And this looks much better, and I will not be surprised. The ball skidding on will be much better than the previous game.
So you reckon winning the toss?
If it's the Blues, if you still want to give it a fight for the finals, I like to bowl first, know what you're chasing, and chase it down. If I'm GREYS, I'll just bat.
All right, those are the thoughts of Fawis Maroof, but what are the thoughts of the two captains? Gamini Pereira is out there with the two captains and our match referee, Graham Lebroy.
I've got the two captains with me. Charit Asalanka, grey corner. Pathum Nissanka, blue corner. Mr. Graham Lebroy, the match referee. Pathum, give us a flick, please. Heads the call. It's a tails. Pathum, ආශිර්වාද සිනාගත්ත මොකද්ද තීරණය?
පන්දුර පාරද.
මොකද්ද හිතන්නේ මේ පිච් එක ගැන?
මම හිතනවා හවස්සේදී සමහරකට ස්ලෝ වෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඉතින් ඒ හින්දා තමයි අපි මුලින්ම පන්දුර පාර දෙන්න බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන්නේ.
ඔබලා දැනට ජයග්‍රහණයක් ගන්න බැරි වුණත් ඊටාම වැදගත් මේ තරගාවලිය හොඳින් නිම කිරීම.
ඔව් අපි බලන්නේ පුළුවන් තරම් මේ මැච් එකේ එෆර්ට් දාලා ගහන්න. ඉතින් අපිට වැදගත්කමක් තියෙනවා මේ මැච් එක දිනන.
Good luck. Charit, what you would have done if you have won the toss?
I would have done bowling because previous two games we had to bat first, and I just want to do other thing at this time.
Yeah, I know you are 1-1 from two games and two games back to back. What's the feeling in the dressing room?
Not too bad. We just had a good game in first up and the bad game second one, but we just want to come back very strongly in these two games.
If your bowlers bring the A game into it, what is the total that you are happy to chase?
Happy to chase around 160, 170 in this pitch.
Okay, go get them, Tiger. Good luck. Well, the news from here is that Pathum Nissanka has won the toss and he's going to bat first.
Right, so it's the Blues who have won the toss and they have decided to bat first. Quite a few changes, starting with the captain. That's interesting, Ma. I mean, I haven't seen a captain being dropped. What are your thoughts on this?
I think it's a massive call. Dunit Dalal again not playing, but good to see Pathum Nissanka still going strong. Nishan Madushka, that's another opportunity. And Ravidu Fernando gets a go as well. And Lilan, the young leg spinner, I've been told he's from Army. He has a very good control when it comes to some variations also. So I'm looking forward to watching bowl. Matisha Patina gets a go, and Dharanjay Disilla, Dasun Chananga. I think in the middle overs they have to perform, because if Blues to win, they got to at least score 250. If not, I don't think any chance of going to the
That's a
finals.
look at the Blues side. What about the GREYS?
I mean, they are going with only two changes. Bindu Fernando gets a well-earned rest, as well as Ramesh Mendes. I mean, it's an opportunity for Sana Arachigi. Probably he will not bat at number 10. He'll probably bat at number 6 or 7. Ishan Malinga gets a go as well. Mahesh Tikshna will use a new ball. And Garuko Sanket, the young slinger, is playing instead of Bindu Fernando. So that's another opportunity. So overall, on paper, both sides, I think GREYS for me looks much more stronger.
Well, very interesting players in those squads. Garuka Sanket, the name you spoke about, very interesting. Lots of other names as well. But it's time now for play to start. The umpires are out there, and let's go across and join our first commentators in the box. It's Estelle and Rajiv.
Well, thank you, Roshan and Maha. A very good afternoon to all the viewers, the players out there, the umpires today. Hemantha Botheju and Shamara Soisa. It's been a very bright, hot, warm, humid day here in Colombo. And then the Blues win the toss for the 4th time, Estelle. Very good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Rajiv. Yes, they've won the toss for the 4th time, but still no points on the board for the Blues. So they'll want to change that pattern in this game. They've got Pathum Nissanka back in the team. I think that will be a massive strength to them, because they did miss him in the previous game. He's got a few good starts, but he'll want to kick on here and make a big one and give them the best chance of putting themselves in contention to make it to the final on Saturday.
Well, indeed, some of the changes coming from both sides. They're trying to make that experimentation out there, especially in these kind of games, especially for the Blues. No points on board still. Tunit Villalake is not playing today. Dilshan Madhusanka is probably resting as well. And then Kusal Janit, he's injured. So Mahesh Tikshana started the proceedings. Nicely whipped off his hips. Pathum Nissanka, he's off the mark. But probably this is the last game for the Blues. And then this is the time that batters like Vishen Halamage should come into the game. Got a 35 in the second game, but apart from that, didn't have a good start. Well, Pathum Nissanka, vastly experienced campaigner for the Blues, 134 games, 3,000 plus runs. Well, another shortish one from Mahesh Tikshana, back at the length, just nicely nudged towards the leg side. Well, both batters are off the mark in their first deliveries.
Yeah, actually interesting approach from the pair, because we did see them going after the bowling in the previous games that they've featured in. More sedate start to the innings. That's Vishen Halambage's numbers, just 18 games. But look at that strike rate, 167. Oh, yes. It's a sign of what he can do out there in the middle.
Another easy single for Pathum Nissanka. That open area on the leg side loves the batters, because Mahesh Tikshana is bowling that middle stump line. And no hinge of turn. Wicket looks so whitish for me, and looks a very good batting track. Well, this time played uppishly to extra cover. Novinithu Fernando, he grabbed some of the brilliant catches in the first game for GREYS. Very good fielder.
Yeah, he's one of those players who really does stand out as a fielder, isn't he? Novinithu Fernando, whether it's his catching or his ground fielding, very quick to the ball, I feel, and that gives him that little bit of an advantage. Once again played uppishly, but this time Halamage picks up a single.
Yeah, these two batters dealing with singles. Mahesh Tikshana bowling to his field with 5 fielders in the 30-yard. No catching or slip. Everyone staying right at the edge of the 30-yard circle. Well, another easy one towards the leg side for Pathum Nissanka. So Blues first over done. They are 5 for no loss. Well, the standing umpire today, Hemantha Botheju. And he's assisted by Chamara Soisa. Well, it's still the last occasion, if I'm not mistaken, was Ishan Malinga. Was a bit of in a pressure situation when it comes to his first over when Vishen Halamage got 22 runs in the first 4 balls. That was the first game that these two teams played here at SSC. So Malinga is into the attack today.
Yeah, another interesting decision, because whenever we've seen Malinga being brought into the attack, it's been later on in the innings. Those are his numbers: 44 wickets in 29 games. Here he comes.
Well, this time over mid-wicket, couple of bounces, not on the middle of the bat, but still that shot going over mid-wicket fielder. So another pressure situation for Malinga. First ball back at the length. This time it's Pathum Nissanka.
Pathum Nissanka has looked to attack the bowlers as much as possible in that power play, hasn't he? And he goes straight away against Malinga. Just likes that extra bit of pace as opposed to what he got from Mahesh Deekshana in the previous over. So once again, as you said, Malinga under a bit of pressure right from the word go.
Well, this time a big one on towards the grass banks. Short is delivery back at the length from Ishan Malinga. So boundary and a 6 in the first 2 deliveries.
This is what Pathum Nissanka does so well. He picks up the length of the ball in an instant and he's quickly onto the back foot and just clearing the boundary quite comfortably. So looking to score quickly, looking to put the pressure on Ishan Malinga right away.
Well, there you see, that was some meat on it. Into the grass banks. Well, this wicket seems to be very good. Ball is coming onto the bat. Well, this time over extra cover. And another boundary, so 14 runs coming on the first 3 deliveries. Now Pathum Nissanka takes the charge. Ishan Malinga, not a good start again.
Yeah, overcompensating on that occasion, wide outside the off stump, and Nissanka uses that width to go over the offside, gets another 4. So not a good start, as you said, but if we look back at that over that he went for 20 odd against the Blues in the previous game, he did end up picking up a wicket. So he'll have that at the back of his mind. If he can get it right with the next couple of deliveries, he's still in the game.
Yorkish delivery outside the off stump. Well, rare dot ball when it comes to this kind of explosive batting. Well, Pathum Nissanka is off to a flying start. The last game for the Blues.
It was a good shot, wasn't it? It just didn't find the gap, because if it had gotten past those 2 fielders in the inner ring, there's a boundary to be had at third as well.
Well, he should be realizing he doesn't have any protection in the offside. Bowls wide outside the off stump, and that uppercut. Pathum Nissanka gets another boundary. He's bowling that short his length line. Well, I reckon it's not a good choice for the bowlers. There you see, a little pace off, but still bowling that outside off stump line. That's the ball that got Vishen Halamage in the first game.
Yeah, not a good delivery was that. Just outside the off stump, slow bouncer. Pathum Nissanka just clears that inner field.
Well, another Yorkish delivery. So, big over. Ishan Malinga giving away 18 runs. And the Blues, after 2 overs, they are 23 for no loss. Well, this time he takes charge. Swept towards Sportylk region. Well, they have taken only a single still there. That's surprising. Probably he thought the ball going to the boundary but stopping just beyond the boundary line.
The sports minister just having an eye on proceedings alongside head coach Sanat Jayasuriya. Good to see some interest for this competition.
Well, nicely whipped towards the leg side again for a single. Another good start, just like in the first game for the Blues. They were up after the bowling. But right now, the Blues, they're 25 and no wickets fallen off still. Well, inside edge. Well, Theekshan has been very good today. Not giving much room, much width. Just keeping the batters just for singles there still.
Yeah, he's bowled well. I wonder if there's a little bit of pressure on Mahesh Theekshan, and now you've got a couple of other spinners who've been bowling well in the power play. Traveen Matthew comes to mind. He's fielded well as well. So is there that little bit of pressure on Mahesh Theekshan now, especially when it comes to representing Sri Lanka?
Well, one thing, he's bowling to the field. He has two fielders on the leg side, deep Sportylk and a mid-wicket out there in the boundary. That shot is delivered, even though it was stuck nicely off Vishen's bat, but still just a single. He's not bowling outside the off stump, just keeping that line and channel towards the stumps.
The approach of the batters also has been much more subdued against Mahesh Theekshan. They've not really looked to take him on, possibly looking to just see off a couple of his overs and attack from the other end. Pathum Nissanka in particular, who's been so attacking against the fast bowlers, just content to work the ball onto the leg side, work the singles.
A quick single, shy the stumps. Well, direct hit. Probably Vishen was home there. So just 5 runs coming off Mahesh Theekshan's second over. Blues 28 for no loss after 3 overs. Well, Ishan Malinga going for 18 runs in his first over. Charita Asalanka, the skipper, bringing in Kamindu Wickramasinghe for the first time. Well, I haven't seen him bowl in the previous games. Another bowler can get some swing with the new ball especially. Similar feel to Ishan Malinga. It's down the leg side, wide, not a good start. He hasn't bowled in this tournament so far, isn't it, Estelle?
Yeah, we haven't seen him bowl so far and really hasn't had much of a role to play with the bat as well, so it's good to see him. This is the last delivery of the previous over. Charita Asalanka, good feeling, he hits the stumps, but Halamage just getting in with that dive.
He had a very slow start in that single but managed to scamper. It was fairly home. Pushing that single in the last delivery. Well, so far it's a very quiet start for Vishen Halamage. He needs to identify this is another chance that he has got in this SLC T20. Just got 30 odd runs in the second game. Apart from that, he's not been him on the runs. Well, slower delivery, and all his fielders inside the 30-yard circle in the offside. This is a similar field set, just like Ishan Malinga, having those two fielders in the deep square leg boundary and the deep mid wicket. There you see all the fielders on the offside. Should be very cautious bowling outside the off stump line. The previous delivery was an off cutter. Well, short outside the off stump, uppercuts it for 6, Vishen Halamage. Well, not a good delivery. He wants him to play on the leg side, but still.
Just trying too much, isn't he, Kamindu Wickramasinghe? It's the same mistake that Ishan Malinga made in the previous over. He's bowled a couple of dots and then he just goes for that bounce outside the off stump, and as you said, he's got no protection on the offside.
Like I mentioned, he should be very cautious bowling outside the off stump. He can't afford to bowl it when all your fielders are inside the 30-yard circle. A loud appeal. Well, I heard two noises.
Just, is that going down the leg side, Rajiva? We did hear a bit of a noise. I wonder if there was an inside edge as well.
Anyway, that delivery might miss the leg stump with some bounce as well. But I heard two noises. Flat bats it over the bowler's head. Is there any firepower? Well, just 2 runs for Vishen Halamage.
Yeah, really didn't find any good part of the bat, did that. It's pure power that he got it through. Was that a slower delivery from Kamindu once again? He is using the change of pace well. Halamage doesn't really get much bat on it, just picks up the 2.
Well, mixing things up, Kamindu Wickramasinghe, but should be very cautious. Well, oh, extra cover. Well, mind you, behind square. Another 6 to end the over. A big one for the Blues. 4 was done. The Blues are 43 for no loss. Overs have gone for 33 runs. Last over, 15 runs from Kamindu Wickramasinghe. Driven nicely along the ground towards long on, just another single, and 18 runs from Ishan Malinga. The seamers are very expensive.
And also that makes the captain have to switch up his plans, doesn't he? He's got to give Mahesh Theekshana another over when maybe you would have seen him only get 2 in the power play. That's the last shot Halamage plays, just opening the face of the bat a little bit, and it's comfortably cleared that rope.
Flicked nicely towards mid-wicket. Just a couple of runs. Well, the last movement, I thought it was going through extra cover, but he's turning that bat more towards the point region. The previous 6 from Vishen Halamage. Well, he has some power, mind you, the youngster. Well, some of the pictures from the drone. The lovely picture is home of cricket of Sri Lanka, the SSC. very good delivery. Back at the length. Into his third over, just given 13 runs inside the power play. I think though he's wicketless, still he has maintained that good line and length.
Yeah, as you said, Rajiva, he's bowled to his field, and that's what's not allowed the batters to really get after him.
Well, outside edge, trying to scamper the single. A good call from Pathum Nissanka. It was quick towards that third man region, the short third fielder, Dinesh Chandimal. With that back at the length line, it's not helping Vishen Halamage. He's a little cautious with those lines and lengths. The moment that you pitch it up, he will take you over the fielders for sure. Well, slow delivery, the off cutter. Well, that's a 6. Well, he bowled the off cutter, Mahesh Tikshana.
Yeah, Halamage going for the big shot once again. Kamindu Wickramasinghe looked like he was in the game, but he's standing on the rope when he takes the catch, tries to flick it back, but too late by then. So a lucky 6 for Halamage, and Mahesh Tikshana has been a bit unlucky in this competition so far.
Yeah, spot on there. He's a little unlucky in this tournament. Well, with that 6, SD, this partnership has moved to a 50-run mark. So 5 overs done. The Blues 53 for no loss.
Right, these are the leading run scorers in the tournament so far. No surprises that Charmika Karunaratne, Nuwanindu Fernando and even Kamindu Mendes are figuring. Vishen Halamage has got 83 runs. He'll be very pleased to be in that top 5 run makers in the tournament. That tells you that the selectors obviously backing him, continuing with him in the tournament, and he's not let them down. Right, here we see Karuka Sanket. That is good fielding, very good fielding at short mid-wicket. But we will see a lot of similar bowlers, those slinging actions, the mystery bowlers. T20 format tends to throw up players like that. Just look at the fielding of Lahiru Dara. Afternoon, Maha.
Afternoon, Roshan. Afternoon, everyone joining us from all over the world. Yeah, Garko Sanket did play the LPL as well. Did make a name for himself in a couple of the games. Certainly a man for the future. A long way to go, but certainly showing a lot of skills. He bowls a wonderful back of the hand slow delivery, which yet to be disguised. But the Blues, it's a good start. 54 for no loss, just 4 balls remaining to end of the power play.
Short delivery and gets the treatment. It goes all the way for 6. Bit of bounce. In fact, nice carry, and Pathum Nissanka riding it.
Poor delivery to a great player, quality player. Short way outside the off stump. All fielders in the offside in the 30-yard circle. And Pathum Nissanka quite deliberately going up and under. No intention at all to keep it on the ground. Goes all the way with the pace. Garuka Sanket delivers.
The Blues off to their best start. Now what about this? This should be taken. It should be taken. Niroshan Dikwella takes the catch. And Garuka Sanket couldn't have answered Pathum Nissanka in a better fashion. Gets his wicket immediately after that uppercut for 6.
Soft dismissal by Pathum Nissanka. After getting himself in with the quality that he possessed, this was a rather disappointing end. Wasn't a slow delivery, it was seam up. He wasn't sure whether to play the flick shot or the sweep shot or the pedal. In between, gets underneath it, a top edge, and with the gloves, Shandikwala, he's not going to miss out on that. Gone for 30 or 15, Blues 60 for 1.
Nishan Madushka opened the batting in the previous game, batting at number 3 here. Best of 80. The strike rate he'll want to improve. We're talking about the modern T20 format, over 1,000 runs. Player that has done no harm to his chances. Every time the opportunity has been given, whether it is domestic or representative cricket, we've seen him more often than not scoring and really making a mark for himself. Right, Sanket will continue. Madushka will be the man on strike. Short third, short fine. Go square. That's it with a lot of power. That runs away for 4.
The delivery was delivered at 130. Off the bat, it went around 140. Crashed to the cow point. The fielder at deep square, he did not utter move. Couple of feet to the ear right, and it went all the way. What a start for Nishan Madushka.
Last ball. You can hear the grunt. Hit with a lot of power again. Finds the fielder, but a single. Mixed over. 12 runs and a wicket. 65 for 1. One thing that stands out here in both these graphics in terms of the top run getters and wicket takers, Shamika Karunaratne features. With the bat in hand and also with the ball in hand, he's got 5 wickets. He's joint at the top with 2 others with 5 wickets. And it's turning out to be a very fine tournament for Shamika, wanting to stake a claim in the national side as the captain, Charit Asalanka, brings himself on.
Interesting move by Charit. Straight away after the power play, bringing himself in with 2 right-handers at the middle. Yes, the ability to bring V.S. Kant. The leg spinner was bowled well. Probably will come from the other end. Mahesh Dikshan already bowled 3 overs, 20 runs. And what's interesting, Roshan, Mahesh Dikshan's 3 overs went for 20. The other 3 bowlers, the 3 seamers, Malinga, Wickramasinghe and Sanket, they've gone for 45 runs. Shows the difference of class of a spinner. Now
by the batters today. Charit Asalanka, on the other hand, looking to slow it up. Looks to go across. Bowling from round the wicket. Not a big turner of the ball, but he's looked to try and slide it. Very clever operator. So far, just 2 singles of the first 4 deliveries.
Yeah, Vishen Halam again naturally aggressive. Don't think he'll hold himself back against an off spinner. Possibly national captain, just couple of deliveries, sighters. Don't be surprised, 3rd delivery, he goes for a big shot. Pathum Nissanka, very disappointing. Not for the first time in this tournament. After a good start, he throws it away. Hopefully it's not the case when it comes to international cricket, because all important Zimbabwe too and the Asia Cup coming up, you need Pathum Nissanka all guns blazing.
Last ball of the over. Been a good one so far, just 3 runs. Short delivery swung away on the leg side. It won't split the gap. They'll be happy with a single. It's a very fine over for Masalanka, who comes on and puts the brakes somewhat on the scoring. 69 for 1. Right, Vijayakanth, 59 wickets in his career of 55 games of T20 cricket, best of 4 for 22. Comes on, tends to push the ball through a little bit quicker. And he's been very handy with the ball in hand. Every time he plays, he's been useful as a leg spinner. Oh, looks to swing it away on the onside. Gets only a single, but that was an almighty swing.
I just have this feeling, this pace of the game, where Vijayakanth is bowling in the middle overs, is going to be the turning factor. Either way, batters or the bowlers. Usually spoke about even in the pre-show, Roshan, that the leg spinners in the middle overs, you'll expect them to pick up wickets. In this instance, well fielded, very well fielded by Charith Asalanka, leading by example. Certainly saved a couple of runs there. And Charith Asalanka himself being a spinner who likes to contain, you need a partner from the other end who's tried to attack. So I reckon if Vijayakanth pitched it in a good areas, get some turn and bounce, he'll certainly be a handful on a pitch where he's generating good bounce.
Yeah, for sure. I think there is a lot of bounce, no doubt. So far, 4 deliveries, just 2 runs. This is a good little face. And this is huge, but might be taken in the deep. Yes, it's taken quite easily at long off. And wicket number 2. Vishen Halamage looking to go over the top. Finds the fielder at long off. And the Blues have lost a set batter.
A massive opportunity. I said, Roshan, that something had to give with Vishen Halamage being rather quiet in the last couple of overs. And best thing he did was he was trying to go with the turn, but did not get the distance, only the elevation. And Vijayakanth in the middle overs strikes for the GREYS. Halamage, after getting a good start, has been perished with an easy catch by Ishan Malinga at long off.
Right, the red ball skipper Dhananjay De Silva comes out to join Nishan Madushka. An average of under 25, strike rate of 125. So Dhananjay will be on strike. It's off the mark. Very risky player, Dhananjay De Silva. Tends to use his wrists a lot. But a good over from the leg spinner. 72 for 2. Dhananjaya will be on strike. 1 of 1. Madushka 8 of 7. Asalanka continues. Oh, they're asking for a catch and he's out. Wicket number 3. And the Blues are starting to lose their wickets very, very quickly and too close to each other.
Familiar story continues for the Blues. Losing wickets in clusters. Dhananjaya De Silva against the ODI captain, the test captain, tried to go for a big hike towards mid-wicket. Probably got a bottom edge. And Iroshan Dikwala, that's good hands. Takes it easy. DDS gone for 1. Blues 72 for 3.
Ashane Bandara held the strike rate, decent average to 30. He's got 100 in his T20 career.
Oh yes, good bowling.
And Charit Asalanka has been very good with that round the wicket line. Just bowling around that off stump.
Man with the golden arm, isn't he, Charit Asalanka? Surprised many, including myself, bowling straight away after the power play against the two right-handers. And he strikes with the big wicket of DDS, and Vias made sure that he had the better of Vishen Halamage. Poor shot got to be said, DDS. Just the second delivery. Premeditated. Even before the ball was delivered, on top of the run-up, the DDS would have made up my mind, right, this delivery has to go between mid-wicket and long on.
Another single. So the Blues are facing a crisis at the moment. They've lost wickets. In the space of 12 runs, they've lost 3 wickets. And also, after a good power play, the next 3 overs, 2 overs and a bit, has not conceded too many runs. It's been singles. And I don't think even a boundary was scored. Salanka into his second over has conceded just 7 runs and got a wicket. Viaskant has got a wicket at the other end. So, it's a lot of work ahead of the Blues if they are to get anywhere close to a winning position. A lot will depend on this partnership. Last ball. Again only a single, so Asalanka wouldn't mind it. A wicket and 4 runs. He's bowled 2 overs for 8. 76 for 3. Viaskant continues. At the moment, it's about milking the bowling, just knocking it into gaps. Singles, rotation of strike, that appears to be the plan of the 2 batters.
One thing is for sure, these 2 batters in the middle are lightning quick. So if the communication is good between Nishan and Ashane, there'll be a masterclass of running between wickets, that's for sure. Ashane Bandar is very quick as well as Nishan. That's the order of the day, isn't it? In the middle overs, if the runs are hard to come by, 4s and 6s hard to come by, you should make sure you run the first one right always. Is there a drop chance by Dikwala?
Was it a drop chance? He was attempting to play the reverse. There wasn't a great amount of excitement. Plays it late, plays it very late, almost from his off stump. Viaskant pushing it through. And that was definitely bordering a risky stroke. Again, this is good bowling. He's mixing it up.
This occasion, bounce saved Ashen Bandar. If the ball had kept slightly low, this should have crashed to the middle stump or the off stump. Yeah, possibly off stump. Again, another premeditated stroke by the Blues batters. That's been the problem, isn't it? I don't think the batters are reading the situation of the game, especially considering the way how Vishen and Dhananjay Silla got out, and also Ashen Bandara almost got himself out. There's been a poor tournament. 3 out of 3 been lost. They need someone to put their hand up, play a responsible knock. A single to end the VS Khan's second over, just 3 runs. It's 79 for 3.
To the 3 wickets. Pathum Nissanka, after getting a blistering start, once again perishes, and this was nicely taken in the deep. Vishen Halamage, and the white ball skipper gets the red ball skipper for a dog. 79 for 3, as we say good afternoon to Esther Vasudevan.
Good afternoon, Garmini. That's the batting performance so far from the Blues. Looked promising early on when Pathum Nissanka and Vishen Halamage were going. Got a couple of really big overs against the fast bowlers in that power play. But since then, 3 wickets falling in quick succession. They've been put under a bit of pressure. 79 for 3. They are now, for the bowlers, Garuka Sanket getting the big breakthrough. Pathum Nissanka, Charit Asalanka, VS Khan both picking up a wicket apiece. So the GREYS certainly making their way back into this game after being put under pressure in the power play. Ishan, Madushka, Ashen Bandar will have a massive job to do now if they are to put on a total that is defendable on what looks like a really good batting surface.
Yeah, it really does. The way Pathum Nissanka was maneuvering to all parts of the ground, ST. Good carry, good bounce. Sahan, quickish off spin.
Bye-bye, Kai.
Call for 2. These two are very quick between wickets. And the other thing is, ST, it's mighty important that when you're out there in the middle, that you got to understand what your partner is trying to do. Ashen Bandar knew exactly what Nishan Madushka was going to do. That was the way he shot to get a couple. Gone through at least 2 here. So 2 twos to start Sahan Arachige's first over.
It's a good start to the over for this pair. I think if they look back at this competition so far, they'll see that the players who've tried to stay in there, get runs, have been the ones who've been successful. Those are Sahan Arachige's numbers. 84 games, 50 wickets, best of 4 for 8. As I was saying, you look at the guys who've got runs in this competition, they bided their time, looked to stay at the crease for as long as possible, and then kicked on the last few overs. So this pair, they've got the opportunity now, nearly 10 overs to go. They can stick around until the 15th or 16th over. There are runs to be had.
Yeah, right throughout this competition, we had fair crowds, didn't we? Obviously, some of the top stars in action. Heaves towards the onside by Bandara. Straight to the fielder though. Yeah, ever since the spin was introduced, ST, they have controlled the proceedings, haven't they? They've taken the pace right off, asking the batters to take them on early. Currently, just a tick under 8 runs per over. What they have done effectively is that they've tried the boundaries.
Yeah, and Zahan Arachige won't be too disappointed with this over so far. 7 runs, but no boundaries, as you mentioned. He's coming into the side to replace Ramesh Mendes. Adds a bit of strength to the batting as well, and can go bowl some very, very handy off spin.
Goes for a big one, miss it. It's going to fall safe. They're up at the green, going towards the batter this time around. That was well bowled by Sanwarachi. Batter obviously hoping that ball will spin, but it didn't. Went with the arm. So couple to finish, 88 for 3 after 11. Madushka 18 off 15, Ashin Bandara 6 off 9. They've got work to do, ST, after losing 3 quick wickets within the space of 12 runs. This man, he's been a revelation since he was introduced a couple of years ago in that LPL. Yes, Kant, ST, we saw how well he performed in that 50 over competition, didn't we? He was the highest taker by a mile, really. But I'm amazed the way that he's landing every time where he wants. As a wrist spinner, sometimes the control can be working against you, but not this man. He's landing wherever he wants all the time.
Yeah, that's what's, I think, been impressive about Viaskan so far. What we've seen, he's had a lot of control over what he wants to do out there.
When you have a bowler in operation of this nature, ST, the batter, he doesn't get much, so needs to take risks off good balls. And since he's targeting the stumps all the time, obviously the element of risk of sacrificing your wicket and the execution. Once again played off the stumps by Bandara. Singles, obviously GREYS will not mind this ST.
He's getting some bounce off this track as well, isn't he, Viaskan? Making it just that little bit tougher for the batters to really gauge what's happening. Just 5 runs off this over. He's bowled really well, 1 for 11 so far in 2.5.
Yeah, you mentioned about the bounce, ST. We all spoke about the control he gets, and throwing the fact that the high arm release, the releasing point is around, what, 7.5 foot. So that's where he gets that extra bounce. Top ball to finish the 12th, 93 for 3. It's a very hot and humid afternoon here at the SSC grounds. Sahant continues his second over. Yeah, with just a tick under 8 overs to go, ST. It's not only the skill set that you need to bat in these middle overs. It's, you know, what kind of a total that you have to have it in your mind. Which ball are you going to take? Oh, that's out. That is going to be out. And he's gone. Once again, Ashen Bandara looking to hoik towards long on. No spin at all. Outside edge. Comfortable catch. So just when we think that they were going to get out of the situation, and then the wicket goes.
Yeah, wild swing from Ashen Bandara. He'd come down the track a couple of times before in his innings as well. Not able to get bat on ball properly. Just that frustration getting to him. 8 of 13 deliveries. And he goes, and the Blues further in trouble now. 94 for 4 after 12.2.
Nissanka obviously had a couple of performances with the ball in hand, but hasn't really had a significant performance with the bat in hand. Has he? Now, I know Sahanarachige got the dismissal in the scorebook or the wicket, but I think half a wicket should go to Viaskan for that previous over. Just 5 singles and the dot ball to finish that over. There was enough pressure building on the 2 batters. Chanaka gets his innings underway with a single.
Yeah, patience is the name of the game, isn't it? And Ashen Bandara just not able to stick around long enough to reap the rewards. That's how he went. Just a wild hoik over mid-wicket. Just gets the outside edge. No spin from Sahanarachige. Just skids on with the arm. Chandimal takes a simple catch.
Another very good over that it's turned out to be. Just 3 singles and a wicket. Yeah, bowling to a field of 45 on the onside and the 3 boundary riders. Attack in the stumps once again. Nissanka works off his hips for a single. I think they will all need Nissanka's experience here. ST, we all know the finishing powers he possesses, and obviously after this delivery, 7 overs to go, and at which point that he changes his gears and looking for those boundaries. Oh well, nearly, my goodness gracious me, that would have been another one. Another very fine over from Sahan. 4 and a wicket. 97 for 4 after 13. We'll have some very successful overs from the spinners. Garuka sunk it.
Thank you, sir.
Just a 1 over. The early piece conceded 12 runs and got that prize wicket of Pathum Nissanka. It started a little collapse really. None for 60 at that stage, and then 3 for 72 suddenly. They haven't been able to really get the motor on. Full toss in the gap. Save your leg, son.
Yeah, the fast bowler being brought into the attack just as Nissanka makes it to the crease. You don't see that often, do you? Viaskan bowling so well from that end, taken off the attack, and Shanaka, he capitalizes on that poor delivery from Garuka Sanket to start off.
That shot might signify that Tanaka might trying to find some form. I know it's a freebie, but it always tells as you walk in. Off his hips once again. Yeah, there are a few players knocking on the door for that spot, ST. That batting all-rounder to bowl around 2 to 3 medium pace overs. We've seen a few in this competition, haven't we?
Yeah, going by this competition alone, you'd have to say Chamika Karunaratne is leading the way in that aspect. He's had a fantastic tournament so far with both bat and ball.
Picked up, bottom of the middle, and comfortably taken. Karuka picks up his second wicket. Once again, there was a lot of hang time on that shot. The fielder had to just run 5 yards onto his left, and Charita Salanka acknowledging his youngster's effort there. The two pieces of brilliance in that, the direction and lack of speed from Karuka. It's a good running catch this.
Yeah, Lahiru Udara takes the catch for the Greys. You've got to say another poor shot from one of the Blues batters. So Nishan Madushka, after sticking around for a bit, goes for 23 of 22. Blues now 102 for 5.
.31 matches, 288. Well, the strike rate is 132, so he'll need all that. But he has come in a very precarious situation once again, ST. It has been a really challenging task for the brain trust of the Blues team. Right throughout this competition, none of the batters were able to play that long innings that we require in the T20. Just as they look to start to dominate, and then that was a brilliant shot. What a shot that was. Half volley all right, but you still had to execute. Nicely timed. Well, he looked like he has been playing on this track for a while, ST. Have a look at that extra cover drive.
Yeah, had a bit of a cameo in yesterday's game as well. Kamindu Fernando played a really good pull shot for 6. So, got a bit of timing under his belt. That's been the problem for the Blues batters, hasn't it? They've not been able to time the ball at all in this innings so far, apart from the opening pair. Kamindu Fernando at the crease because of this shot from Nishan Madushka after sticking around for so long. Just tries to go over the leg side boundary, doesn't get enough on the bat. Lahiru Udara takes a comfortable catch out in the deep.
Suresh Bulankulama in the middle. What a bad cricketer himself in his school days, ST. Now works for Sri Lanka cricket. So he scrambles for another single. Dasun Shanaka, he will keep strike after 14. 108 for 5. Ishan Malinga back into attack. None for 18 in his first over. From the tennis court end. Nissanka works off his hips once again, but just a one. Good work in the deep.
Yeah, Malinga took a belting in his first over. 3 fours and a 6 off the bat of Pathum. Nissanka taken off immediately and brought back where he feels a lot more confident, I feel, bowling with the older ball. Dasun Shanaka, he'll have a big job to do. 6 overs to go in this innings. What type of total will they be comfortable with, the Blues? They've not had the best of luck whether bowling first or batting first. They want some cushion if they are to defend this, whatever they put on the board.
Oh, goodness gracious me. Ravindu was just scrambling to the other end. Malinga realizes that. I'll tell you what, that would have been another coach killer if that hit the stumps. 110 for 5, ST. 4 balls and 5 overs left. 160.
They'll want to get a bit more than 160, I feel, because this pitch seems to be playing really well. Ball coming onto the bat really well. So, and we know that the Greys have a good batting lineup. They want to get close to that 170, 180 run mark, but a lot will depend on how Shanaka goes. We've said that multiple times in this competition because they do seem to have collapsers in the middle order, the Blues.
Two slow balls in a row, ST, so that indicates that that's good running. Very, very good running. Dasun Shanaka. He nearly dragged his partner for the second. Taking the first one hard. Yeah, the point that I was trying to make, ST, the last 2 deliveries been pace off. So might be a tactic that a lot of pacers will use on a surface like this. There's good bounce and carry. Obviously, you don't need. Oh, that's the effort delivery. Yeah, that came effective because of the slow one, the one before.
Yeah, he's mixed things up well previously in this competition, but did take it a bit too far in that first over. He bowled to Pathum Nissanka. That's why he went for 18 runs. This time, quicker short delivery right at Ravindu Fernando, who just ducks away, not taking the risk. He knows there's plenty of work to be done in this innings. So dot to end the over from Ishan Malinga. It's been a good one from him. Just 5 runs off that over. 113 for 5. It stays of 15 overs for the Blues.
Dasun and Ravindu for the Blues. 5 overs to go, or 4.5 overs to go now. Can they score 10 runs per over to get to a score close to 160? That's a fighting score to win the game. But stay in the competition. They've got to do something out of the ordinary to remain in the competition, Rajiv Veerasinghe.
Definitely, Maha. Well, interesting factor. Khan bowling his last over. Probably Dasun Shanaka will try to see him off.
Against Dushan Hemant, he's tried to be aggressive, got himself out. With VS Khan's ball in the last, probably another 3 more deliveries to go. Sensible option for Dasun Shanaka would be to see him off and then to target the rest of the bowlers, since against leg spinners his average is not the greatest.
This Rakmaha, the more you give pace, the more the runs, the easy way for the batters to get. But he bowled into the pitch with those slow deliveries. We saw just 5 runs from Ishan Malinga in the previous over. Look at that wrong one. VS Khan, he's been very good today. Just 14 runs and picked up a wicket. The wicket of Vishen Halamage.
Don't think Ravinder picked the googly here. He was trying to play through the offside. Another indication that the young man is not reading the leg spinner. Just the 3 runs from this over. And the finishes strong. Vijay Kant, VS Kant, he finishes his spell. 4 overs, 1 for 15. Excellent stuff. 117 for 5. Mahesh Tikshna will finish off. 3 overs in the power play. He was excellent. Just the 20 runs in his 3. Now he's up against Ravindu and Dasun. Now Dasun Shanaka, pretty sure he'll target Mahesh Tikshna. Very well done. Oh, the umpire calls it a wide. Dikwala tried to be cheeky by saying very well bowled, but the umpire was not having any of it.
Well, Tikshana trying to finish off his over. Straying outside the off stump. Well, marginal. Marginal.
Just outside the off stump. Previous delivery, almost the same line, called in a wide by the umpire, not at this occasion. I thought the wide delivery was a marginal call. Benefit went to the batter. This occasion, it was well within the tram line. The plan is quite clear for Tikshana. Ravindu Fernando is quite strong down the leg side. It's time to keep him outside the off stump. With the third man, cover point, both 30 in the 30-yard circle, being fine. That's a bluff. And Dinesh Dikwala, if he had picked it up in one go, would have been a stumping chance.
Yeah, definitely. Little down the leg side. So 2 wides, 2 extra deliveries in this over. In the power play, first power play, Blues got 65 runs. Since then, they have bowled 10 overs. Well, big heave. What a brilliant catch. No, well, for an instance, I thought it was held on by the mid-wicket fielder, Sahanarachi.
Full marks to the effort by Sahanarachige. Sprinted in about 15-20 meters. Full length dive, almost had it. Got the fingers underneath it when he dived. Probably the elbow hit in the ground, just popped out. Nevertheless, a brilliant effort by Sahanarachige. This is what you like to see from your outfielders. Shot in the arc. Poor delivery by Mahesh Tikshana. That went a long way.
Well, these are called the death overs. Mahesh Tikshana bowling inside the power play and in the death overs. Ravindu Fernando, a very good striker. You can't afford to bowl him there.
Yeah, meat and a drink for Ravindu. We said favourite area long on mid-wicket. He's been fed and he dispatches with a massive hit. Better. Full length, but still found the gap. Powerfully driven through the offside. 6 followed by a boundary.
This time outside the off stump. Well, foolish delivery, half volley. There you go. Trying to bowl that Yorker probably outside the off stump. And that width, especially for a batter like Ravindra Fernando and also Dashun Chanaka. Both are good strikers.
Changing the field, square leg comes up, car point drops back. Has to be a wide. Yeah, easy decision. The line has to be outside the off stump when you have three fielders in the offside saving the boundary. A deep extra cover, a long off and a deep car point. But that was way too wide. Even a short third man, a short cover point is there for the cheeky dab. Better. Good line, good length.
Well, this time there's protection. Three fielders on the off, like Maha said. Just tackling that outside the off jump line. Well, they should be very cautious. Can't go anything on the middle stump or the leg side because he has two fielders. But right now, again another field change. The car point comes in and the score is dropped back.
And that is because of the change of batsman, isn't it? Dasun Chanaka, more conventional field being set. The line remains the same. Powerfully struck, but finds the captain at car point. Tikshana finishes his spell. 4 overs, none for 36. Blues 1, 33 for 5 after 17. Mahesh Tikshana, V.S. Kant, they've finished their spell. Ashan, Kamindu, Gariko, the three seamers, along with two part-timers in Charit and Sahan filling in 4 overs. Looks like it's going to be the seamers finishing the job off. Ashan Malinga probably will bowl a couple of overs. Yeah, he's bowling the 18th, probably on the 20th as well. And Garuko Sanket, with his ability to bowl slow balls with unusual action, I reckon he'll probably bowl the penultimate over. Three fielders outside the ring in the offside. Deep calm point, deep extra cover, long off. The two fielders outside the circle. In the next side is a deep mid and a long on. Oh, there's an outsider, the top edge, whatever it is. It's a mighty effective stroke by Ravindu. Hemantha Botheju, right smile. That is because he probably would have thought the ball pitched outside the pitch. Let's take a closer look.
Well, cheeky. Well, that was pitched way outside the square. Well, I reckon, Maha, that should be a no ball. But probably it's not a misjudgment there.
Should have re-bowled. That's where the third umpire comes into play. Unfortunately, in this competition so far, we do not have the service of the third umpire. That should have been, not this delivery, the previous one should have been a no ball. It was pitched outside the pitch, the adjoining pitch. Unfortunately, Hemantha Botheju didn't get it right. This was argued by Shan Malinga simply because the batsman moved to the offside. So naturally the blue line in the offside moves as well. Touch and go, but in my opinion, I think Hemantha Botheju got it right there. That's a good Yorker. Oh, marginal call. It is going in favour of the batter again.
Well, in fact, Maha, it's marginal outside the off stump. There's a slight movement, but well, it should be wide definitely. He's bowling that line outside the off stump, the wide Yorker line. There's a deepish third man, wide point, long off in place.
Slow ball bouncer, missed out. I don't think that can be given a wide. Simply because Ravindra Fernando, even now, is sitting or standing outside the off stump. I certainly have done the homework, the GREYS against Ravindra. Looks to play everything down the leg side. This is good stuff by Shan.
Yeah, mixing things up. Like I mentioned earlier, the more you bowl into the pitch with those slow deliveries, the mix up, it's not easy for the batters. Slight hold up when you bowl into the pitch.
That has to be a wide. Has to be a wide. Don't think Shan Malinga has got the radar right in this over. I have seen him doing this tactic quite successfully. Unfortunately, so far in this over, he is quite wayward.
Yeah, extra deliveries. Well, Maha, that line, like you mentioned, the radar.
Good ball. Oh, unfortunate. Very unfortunate, Hassan Malinga. Luck favours the brave. That's the batter. If he had missed the bat, it would have crashed to the stumps, or the front pad would have been LBW.
Well, a bluff. Definitely a bluff. He was bowling outside the off-stump line, and this time trying to bowl a little straighter. Got a bat to it. Very, very lucky, Ravi Fernando. That could be crashing the stump or the pads. Definitely, even if he didn't get some bat on it, he was lucky there.
I'll tell you what, if he had missed the inside edge, that would have broken the ankle. That was right aiming the ankle. Fortunate for Ravindu, but inside edge got a boundary as well. Change in the attack, coming around the wicket now, Ishan. In the air. Deep into wicket field, says mine. And Lairudara. Yeah, certainly saved a couple of runs there for me, or maybe one run. But many things in his mind. The boundary rope, he's straight looking into the sun, lots of it. But for me, he certainly saved a run there.
Well, short delivery. Nicely pulled, but a miscued shot. He had some yards to cover. Well, probably he misjudged the boundary line, the rope. But keeping, well, that could be very close also.
Top edge. Third man finally again in the circle, asking for trouble. And gets some boundary. What an over this has been. 3 boundaries, a couple, 3 wides, and still a delivery to go.
Well, with that angle, you can't afford a bowl short. There you see. Top edge, 4 runs, and 17 of it already is very expensive. Those extra deliveries, bowling those wides, creating many more runs into this over. With that boundary, gets the 150 for the Blues. Another big over from Ishan Malinga. 17 runs coming off it, Maha.
Good calculation, Rajiv Veer Singh. I took about 1 minute to calculate all those runs. Well done. 150 as well with that boundary. Full toss. Long off in place. And that's Kamindu Wickramasinghe. Certainly saved a couple of runs there. That's good effort by Kamindu. And with that couple of runs, end the 80th over. 152 for 5. Garuka Sanket to bowl the penultimate over. Young man will be up against 2 players who are well settled. 50-run partnership among Ravindra Fernando and Dasun Shanaka. Contribution mostly by Ravindra Fernando. He's on 39. And Dasun Shanaka yet to get going. 12 of 10. Slower delivery. Brilliantly done. We spoke about in the previous stints, Rajiv Veer Singh, that Garuka Sanket possessed one of the best slower deliveries for a fast bowler.
With it, the action, Maha. Bowling that slow delivery, back of the hand, the leg cutter. Probably has practiced it well to bowl.
Slaps it in front of square. Lairudara, valiant attempt, but it beats him. That's a slap more than a shot by Dasun Shanaka.
Well, this time, missing the line, missing the length, outside the off stump, some width, slaps it towards the gap. There you see, enough power, diving effort, but still enough of power for the ball to run down.
Down the leg side. The previous boundary, I thought Dasun Shanaka was anticipating the slow ball. He was batting deep in this crease. I was waiting for it. That's using all his experience.
Yeah, definitely. Now this time, he strays down the leg side. Well, Dashan Shanaka in this partnership, 55 runs. He's been the second fiddle. He's just 16 runs with Ravindu Fernando doing the damage for the Blues.
Cross seamer, slow ball, set up, and slaps it into the grass banks. That's it, Dasun Shanaka for you.
Well, there you go. He's taking charge now. Dashun Sanaka. He's taking the initiative in this penultimate over, and the youngster, slow his delivery on the rise into that gap, into the grass banks.
Oh, foul start.
Well, I like that, Maha.
This is where Garuka Sanket is having a wry smile in his face. He's using his experience as a young man. So is the call. Very well fielded. Going for the second run. Dasun Chanaka got his sprinting boots out. Comes back for the second run. Excellent running between wickets.
Yeah, good running between the wickets. Not a great throw. Well, this is the stop. He was trying to go for that ramp.
Shot in the gap. One bounce to the boundary. Both the seam bowlers for the Greys. First it was Ashan Maling, and now Garuka Sanket leaking runs.
Another expensive over. 17 runs. There you see, trying to bowl that Yorker, probably ending up as a low full toss, picking up perfectly Dasun Shanaka, especially getting that ball into the gap. Well, Shanaka taking charge. Now, Sanket is coming. He's trying to bowl, changing the angles.
Full toss. No fine leg. This we call a no ball. Hemanta Boteju at square leg. He's quite happy. Second time in this over. It goes to the grass banks. Ends the 19th over as well. With the Blue Greys on 175 for 5. It can be the match-winning partnership of this game. 73 of 33 in the last game of the season for the Blues. Shanaka coming into the party in the last over. It was 12 of 10. Beg your pardon, 10 of 12. And all of a sudden, he has made sure that he's taken charge. Ravindu Fernando, the young man, is still with a chance of getting a half century here. 39 of 21. Ishan Malinga 42 runs in his 3 overs. In my opinion, it's time too many things rather than having one clear plan. Looking at the field, it looks like the Yorkers are going to be straight with deep square leg, deep mid wicket and a long on with a short fine leg in the circle. Good Yorker, right on the money.
A good comeback. Shan Malinga bowling his last over. He's a little expensive. Well, 14 runs coming off per over in his spell. That's a very good Yorker. Toe crusher. Well, last 19 balls, Maha, the Blues have managed to get 59 runs.
Right, Dasun Shanaka. Oh, missed out. Hit the helmet. Pretty sure umpire Hemanta Boteju will get the physio out to do the routine concussion test. Don't think it hit the helmet of Dasun Shanaka quite hard, but still, the ICC cricketing rules clearly says that if you struck the helmet, the concussion sub has to happen.
Yeah, that's a slow delivery, slow bouncer. pace off. And the moment that hit struck Nissanka, acknowledged by Ishan Malinga.
I think Sarit Asalanka is doing the concussion protocol. They're asking him the questions. Sanjeev Gamage, the physio, go through the proceedings of the motion or the procedures of checking the helmet. Couple of questions from Dasun Shanaka. Wonder what other questions are. Maybe Roshan Abesingha, when he comes on air in the next 10, probably will let us know, as he has gone through everything. But certainly way early to the stroke.
Alex Dasun Shanaka, look at that partnership, 35 balls, 74 runs. Certainly a match-winning partnership for the Blues. Well, it comes in the last game. They need some points on board, at least, even if they don't qualify for the finals. Some consolation for the team, the Blues.
Outside the off stump.
Back up.
That's the feeling. Much better over so far by San Malinga. 3 deliveries, just the 2 runs given away.
Good half into the last over. Ishan Malinga just conceding 2 runs only. Now it's this man, Ravi Fernando. He's been good touch today, getting those sixes and boundaries, especially with the fast bowlers.
Slow ball bouncer. Will this be called a wide? No. The leg umpire says it's totally fine. It's 1 for the over. Yeah, that's a signal by Hemantha Botheju.
A very good delivery. A very good goal dot delivery in this last over, especially. That's an off cutter, probably going over, Maha. Probably unlucky for the batter.
It certainly was. Even I thought that was way over the top of the head. Got it wrong, the umpires. Shouldn't have been one for the over. That should have been called a wide. So far, this partnership have been excellent.
Well, there you go. Taking the charge, these 2 batters, they needed a win. Well, that could have been a no ball, definitely, Araska. And especially with the fast bowlers, these 2 batters taking that charge, middle in the ball, timing, placing those gaps. Well, some innovative batting as well.
Last ball. I don't think that can be called a wide. And Niroshan Dikpal, bullseye to the stumps. And what a brilliant over to finish off by Ishan Malinga after being taken to the cleaners in the previous over. He has come back and bowled an over with 6 deliveries, only 3 runs given away. Nevertheless, Ravindu Fernando, who's just been dismissed, going for a cheeky run for 41. He was excellent, along with Dasun Shanaka, with the Blues finishing on 178 for 5, a rather respectable score.
Well, what a great over. Malinga bringing the side some relief with those big hitting by these 2 batters. They've taken the bowling, like I mentioned earlier, last 3 overs prior to the last over. From the 16th over, they got 58 runs. Eventually managed just to give 3 runs in the last over, Maha. So this was the run out. Trying to be cheeky, Dasun Shanaka.
The Blues, who won the toss, batted first, and in captain Pathum Nissanka. He opened the batting as Dunit Wellarage is taking a break from this game. As you wait till the batting card being loaded up, they've opened by Pathum Nissanka and Vishen Halamage. Pathum Nissanka, Vishen Halamage, they opened the batting. Good partnership, set the platform with a important partnership of 60 runs in the power play. Nishan Madushka as well got going but couldn't kick on. Dhananjali Silva, Ashen Bandara missed out. Dasun Shanaka and Ramindu Fernando were excellent, finishing on 35 and 41. In the end, the Blues finishing on 178 for 6.
Well, the bowlers, Mahesh Deekshana wicketless, Ishan Malinga got a bit hammered today. Kamindu Wickremesinghe solitary over, getting 15 runs. Well, the spinners, since that power play, they have come into the game. Gaurav Sanket picked up 2 wickets, but he was very expensive. V.S. Kant at the bottom. Well, how good he has been so far in white ball cricket in the 50 over as well as in the T20. He bowled 15 runs only in his 4 overs, and that last wicket part getting some life. So the openers had a good start. They were getting the fast bowlers especially out of the park here with those boundaries, and especially the openers Pathum Nissanka and Hussain Halamage getting into a very good start with that half-century partnership. They got 60 runs for the first wicket. There you see Hussain Halamage getting the balls out of the park. This was the first wicket. No, probably that was the catch. Yes, that was the catch. Mahesh Deekshana. Well, they were bowling outside the off-stump line. So this was the first wicket to fall of Pathum Nissanka at the top edge. Gaurav Sanket in his first over, striking a very good start as well. And then 65 runs coming off, and then the spin being introduced. Hussain Halamage gets out for 32 runs, and Dhananjay De Silva just getting 1 run, and slow start again in the middle stage. They had a good start, and the middle stage again going to a bit of a struggle for the Blues, Maha.
Nishan Madushka, the batsman, holding on at the mid-wicket. Ramindu Fernando, that was a great effort by Sana Arachige. But ever since then, he was excellent. Over long on of Mahesh Deekshana, through the offside, carving past the extra cover. There was a nice cheeky shot towards third man on the 18th over of the innings. Perfect Yorker, got sent inside edge, lucky the batter. Slow ball into the pitch. And Lairu Udara did well to save 1 run there, in my opinion. Very much a hard catch. A bouncer gets the top edge, goes to the boundary as well. And Gaurav Sanket bowled the penalty mullet over. Second delivery went for a boundary. Slow ball set up beautifully. Dasun Shanaka slaps it over extra cover. Full toss to the leg side. 1 bounce boundary to mid-wicket. Should have been a no ball in my opinion. Wasn't given into the grass banks to end the 19th. And the last over was a very good one. Off the last ball, Ramindu Fernando run out. Just 3 runs from the 20th over. Right, GREYS, when they come out to bat, they got to make 179 in 120 deliveries. A rate of almost 9 runs per over. We're going to take a short break. We'll come back with the chase.
Welcome back to the Sinhalese Sports Club SLC T20 League 2025. This is the penultimate round, Blues versus Greys, and finally Blues have found their mojo, and what a fantastic innings that was. After being in trouble in the middle of the innings, they were 94, 105, 102 for 5 at one stage. Nice looking shot of the Colombo 7 from the drone. This is very expensive real estate, these areas. Greys to win. 179 of 120 legitimate deliveries required, run rate 8.95. And the players are in the middle, including the umpires. Dinesh Chandimal is another player who's looking to find some form. Plenty of experience. Just a tick over 5,000 runs. 123 strike rate. 30 50s and 100. And I've been just joined by Roshan Abesinger. Well, Dinesh Chandimal, Roshan, is also another player that needs to find his mojo and try and knock that door for the selectors.
Yeah, he'll have to kick it off. He'll have to make sure that he knocks it off, because he's a player with experience. We do know that. And when he started his career, I thought he might be, those were the early days of T20 cricket, and I thought he might be perfect for that. But then for some reason, there was some tinkering in the way he played. He changed his style a lot. But right, let's see what he does here. Wants a single, runs with it. Now a direct hit would have been interesting, but he's off the mark.
Well, Chandimal was not aware that the overthrow went towards that boundary on the onside. Niroshan Dikwalla was waiting for ages for Chandimal to respond. Good looking shot off the back foot. Nice piece of fielding. Wow. Done a good night nurse, wasn't it?
Direct hit would have been very, very interesting. I don't think he was anywhere close. Also, another thing is, this is Pathum Nissanka captaining. Now, we do know that he's not a very demonstrative person, doesn't talk much. Love to see the way he marshals his troops here. Short and wide and punched hard for 4. That is meat and drink.
Is that the shot that Chandimal produces to find his form? We saw Dasun Shanaka receiving a knee-high full toss to start the innings, and rest is history. What a knock that was at the end. Normal Dinesh Dasun Shanaka that we see is back in business. Chandimal, after getting a short and wide one on the offside. Ooh. This time looking to drive through the offside, inside part of it. With a turn for Dasun Shanaka.
Well, Dhananjay, where do you get Dasun Shanaka, Gamini? You mean to say Dasun Shanaka was bowling off spin? I like that strike rate. Closing in on 150. Average, I like to have it around 25, but brilliant strike rate. 66 runs short of 3,000. Niroshan Dikwalla hasn't got 100 at this level, but he's done well. On strike, Dhananjay from round the wicket. Outside the line. That's outside the line for sure. But what I did see with Dhananjay, not just to the left-hander, but to the right-hander as well, he gets a bit of drift. Even to Chandimal, he got the ball to drift. That one also, I thought he drifted a bit. Yeah, you could see the drift. It pitches and then has a little bit of turn, which was enough to strike the batter outside the line. Last ball of the over. There you are. That's the drift I'm talking about. A dot to end the over, 8 without loss. 8 without loss. No dramas in the first over. Asita Fernando. Love to see Pathum Nissanka captaining the side. Now those are Asita Fernando's returns. 6 for 8. That has to be one tremendous spell. 60 wickets in 55 games. Good average. What we would like to see is the economy rate in T20 cricket. Now he'll bowl to Niroshan Dikpal, another exciting player. Kamini, knowing the T20 format, love to see more the likes of Niroshan Dikpal and more of them, because they are the ones with their unorthodoxy that makes T20 cricket meaningful. Here is the first ball. There you are. That's what I'm talking about. He gets a top edge and it will run away to the boundary. You need to look at his initial reaction.
Yeah, there's never a dull moment when Niroshan Dikpal is on strike. Roshan, yeah, trying to be unpredictable as possible. That's the name of the game, isn't it? T20. Slower ball, though. It gripped on the surface, but it was well within his reach, although he was looking to get outside the line of that delivery. Yeah, he would know that Asita Fernando's stock ball is coming towards his pad, so without getting cramped for room, he's looking to give himself to play on the offside. We all know how good he is on the offside. In swinger. Oh, there. Well, it swung all right, but a bit too much for Asita's liking. Now the boundary. So 2 fours on the bounce for Fernando and Dikpal here. That's the last one. That'll be leg bite, won't it?
Friendly full toss on the pads. But the likes of Niroshan Dikpal, he can be so unpredictable, and that's what actually wins you games in T20 cricket, just being unpredictable. He's the type of player that can open up areas that you may not even know is existing. He will walk around the crease. Well bowled, very well bowled. But if you look at those 3 deliveries, not great fielding, allows the batter a single. So the Blues have been a little bit untidy. There was an overthrow early, now the misfield. If you just look at the first 3 deliveries, this is another look at that fielding effort. Niroshan Dikpal's first delivery, he gave himself room outside the leg stump. And now this one, if you saw Gamini, his base was in line with the stumps on the back foot. Chandimal different, far more technical in his approach. Great combination. Dikpal, unpredictable. Chandimal, the more technically sound, correct batter, but who could still score runs quickly.
And also the fact that Roshan, keep a very close eye on how Asita Fernando is holding the ball. For Dikpal, he had the seam towards fine leg, so intention was to swing it towards his pads. Yeah, this one towards the slip, so obviously, oh, that's unlucky. Luck of the draw goes towards Chandimal. So they're dealing in boundaries, these two. I'm surprised that a very fine third, like a fly slip really, and a point fairly square, so that was in the gap. Very one could say he deliberately played it, didn't he?
See, what surprises me is that line. Pace on, short third in, you're giving width, and that now that third man has gone squarer. Before he was very, very square. Now he's come finer, I should say. Formerly it was a backward point. So that wide, short third. This time, in the arc, and nicely done. Will run away to the boundary. Back to back. Boundaries are flowing. They've got 17 runs of the first 5 balls, and this is really productive.
Yeah, for the youngsters who are watching at home, Roshan, to be a good player through extra cover, you need both your wrists to work in the same line. If one goes away from it, you're going to mistime it, and you're not going to have the timing or the power. But have a look at that one. Both wrists, high elbow, plenty of bat. So very confident start for both these batters.
Gamini Pereira, the coach, coming up with those fine technical details. This time, meat and drink, but taken. Oh, well done. Well done. in the deep. For a moment I thought he caught him, and then I felt he might go over the line. He did neither. He saved runs for his team, and Chandimal was lucky. They may want to see whether it was 4 or not. There is no third umpire, so there is no purpose in checking that. But 2 overs done, 26 without loss. Right, they got to bring in the experienced Dasun Shanaka. Look at those numbers, 95 wickets, but look at that first column, 248 games. That is how many tons of experience? I mean, that is worth a weight in gold. 248 matches, playing around the world, facing different situations. Here he comes. Chandimal gets a slow one and he slams it down the ground for 6. Welcome to the crease, Dasun Shanaka, as Chandimal greets him with a beautiful shot.
Only the first over, Roshan. That shot through covers, we were talking about whether that signifies that he's back in form. Well, if it doesn't, this will. Yeah, seems like he expected that to be a slow ball. Yeah, you mentioned about Dasun Shanaka, 248 matches, a well-oiled machine. And what about Chandimal? He's got experience on his side, hasn't he?
Great battle between 2 stalwarts of Sri Lanka cricket, Dasun Shanaka and once more going down the ground. They'll want to, they'll be happy with 1. But the first delivery was interesting because Dasun Shanaka just came in and lobbed it. Just lobbed it gently, almost. Now this is that last ball. We were talking about that catch, the effort in the deep, great effort, great save. In the end, well done to the fielder. He saved a 6. Would have been a stunning catch had he held on to it. Great work.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, he's lucky that he didn't hold on to it because he was going over the line, wasn't he? Carved away over point. Wasn't off the middle of the bat, but that enough legs once again to go. The lighting outfield here at SSC normally gives batters plenty of value for the shots, and no difference today. Another miss hit and another boundary.
Love watching this man. Not because he's stylish, not because he's greatly attractive as a batter, but it's the way he plays. It's the way he looks to score runs. It's the way he challenges bowlers with his stroke play, with his footwork. Brilliant stuff. He's moved to 9 of 5, just warming himself up. 23 of 10 for Chandimal. Dikwala just quicker, bounced a bit. Dikwala was looking to go square. Now that's because there are fielders inside the 30-yard circle. You get it into the gap. That's 4.
Yeah, I think Dikwala will be very disappointed with that. I don't think he had any intention to keep it down. Once again, he was looking to carve it over point. Yeah, I reckon this is a great battle, intriguing battle between Dikwala and Dinesh. Both experienced batters in T20 format, and one of the most experienced in Dasun Shanaka. They don't miss a moment, do they? Oh, that's in the slot and goes all the way. That one was from the middle of the bat, Roshan. There's no doubt about that.
Well, the sound definitely indicated and confirmed that it was perfectly timed off the sweet spot. 6 number 42 in the tournament. Just look at his initial movement and then how he just drags his back leg but still swings through the line of the ball and gets it over square leg. Unorthodox batting at its best, but extremely effective.
Yeah, you mentioned about Dikwala, how unpredictable he is, and it makes that much difficult for a bowler. You can understand Dikwala, Dasun Shanaka looking to target his body, because Dikwala's favourite shot was to play through the offside, but that was very well timed, wasn't it? Once again, through the gap, 4 more. What an over this. 21 runs, and after 3 overs. Roshana Besinger, this is like a taximeter, 43 for no loss.
47. At the corresponding stage, the Blues were 28 without loss, and they looked quite good even at that stage. But tell you what, another man with a lot of experience, Akila Dhananjaya, coming on. And the Greys are 47 of 3 overs. And 4. First delivery short and wide. It is starting to rain boundaries. The 50 up for the Greys in a matter of 3 overs and 1 ball. That is 19 legitimate deliveries.
Akila Dhananjaya normally is very effective with the new ball, and even in the first power play, the last 12 months or so, Roshan seemingly never has had a bad run, really. He's been very consistent with the ball in hand, but just slightly short. This one straight to the field. I know this game is a game with small margins, but when these two are in full flow, when they get into their stride, it's very difficult for the bowlers.
Yeah, it's absolutely. I mean, the likes of Niroshan Dikwal, I can tell you that he will make it very difficult, and especially in the power play, where the option for the bowler is so limited with just 2 fielders outside the circle. So he's got to be tight. He's got to be really tight. This time, on the bounce, they still get a single. Down the wicket, looking to go over the top. Akila Dhananjaya bowling the off break rather than the leg break. And the ball dipping, I think, and eventually flying off an edge. But still a single. They got 6 of the first 3 deliveries. Chandimal on strike, mid-off in the circle. Another single.
Back in the days, in the 80s, maybe 70s, you know, when the batters were in form, but obviously the conditions of the pitch, the surrounding areas, and the equipment, generally the run rate has improved around 2 runs per over, really, even in Test cricket. But since the T20 cricket, the approach of these batters, see what English players are doing in Test cricket, the effect that it has, it's amazing, really.
Well, talking about English players, I mean, they'll be happy with 200 for 1 on a day 1 in a Test match.
Especially when Boycott was batting.
Yes. And now they look to score 200 in a session. So that's how much the game has evolved. Amazing what T20 cricket has done. Chandimal looks to hit it away on the onside. I think hits his boot. 55 without loss.
Dikwal and Chandimal, they've shot out of the gates, really. 55 or 4 overs. Current run rate, have a look at that. 13.75. Required rate suddenly under 8 runs per over. DDS back on. Nicely bowled. Nicely out thought. Knew exactly what the batter was trying to do. held it up a fraction, and even he sees the funny side of it.
He certainly does. He can have a laugh about it. He deceived Dick Weller in the flight. Just look at how slow he bowls. And the mistake Dick Weller did was, rather than looking to hit it through the line, he went across it. So he missed the delivery. He was deceived in the flight and also missed it as he turned and bounced. Goes for 21 of just 11 deliveries. GREYS are 55 for 1. Lairudara, average just over 20, but this is a player that is taking vast strides as a batter. Captain the side in Australia, captain the A team in Australia, is very much in the radar of the selectors. Played against Bangladesh in a test match. That's wide. In fact, played in 2 test matches against Bangladesh. Looked impressive. Didn't make those big scores, but the little bit we did see of him, he looked quite impressive.
Ball.
Gets off the mark.
Yeah, he has been a very consistent player in domestic level, hasn't he? Lairudara. This was the last wicket. Nicely done. Arm ball, 1 finger arm ball. Had a bit of shape too. Seema. Well, he's showing all his tricks, Roshan Abhaysinga.
See, one thing about Dhananjaya, what I like about him is he's so economical in his bowling action. Just so easy. Chandimal gets a boundary. Tossed up, mid-off, still inside the circle. And just hit through the line for 4. Yeah, that wasn't it wasn't the off spinner. That was just delivered from front of the palm or front of the hand. That was something different that he tried to do. But having said that, the point I was trying to make was Dhananjaya as a bowler, just so economical. Easy run up, nice action. So don't be surprised when he lands the ball regularly in those good areas, because his level of control is good, courtesy the action.
Yeah, he's got such an easy action too, Roshan. Effortless, as you call it. Not a lot of energy goes through it, but it's important to get that delivery right and delivery point correct. Once again, Seema. Just a single towards long on. Dhananjaya does the rest. After 5 overs, GREYS 63 for 1.
Niroshan Dikwala, the solitary wicket so far for the GREYS. Dinesh Chandimal and Lairudara trying to maximize the power play. Slower delivery, chipped it in the air, deep square leg in place, and a very good running catch. Don't think Lairudara intend the ball to go behind square. He's aiming in front of square. But a good catch by the fielder at deep square leg.
Yeah, big breakthrough for the Blues. Asita Fernando with the wicket. Just putting the Greys under a bit of pressure. How good was that catch in the deep? I think that was Ravindu Fernando. Had some ground to cover, but he gets there and gets to the catch. So second wicket falls for the Greys. Lahiru Udara goes for 2. 63 for 2.
New batsman for the Greys, Nuwanidu Fernando, coming at number 4. Very good touch in this SLC T20 League 2025. Some important runs, some good catches in the outfield. He's making the full use of the opportunity, knocking on the door in the national side for a while. In my opinion, a strong case for the Zimbabwean tour. And this is another opportunity for the young man to get some runs on board. But he's up against Asita Fernando. Expensive first over, but he's been in wonderful form probably in the last year or last couple of years with the new ball, with the white ball, with the red ball. He's been the go-to man in every team he plays. Down the leg side, off the mark straight away.
Just on Asita Fernando, he's been the type of bowler any captain can turn to, hasn't he? Whether it is with the red ball or the white ball, just gives it everything. He's got a couple of important runs as well. That's the last wicket to fall. Lahiru Udara just chips it up in the air, and a good take by Ravindu Fernando. As I said, had some ground to cover, but takes it comfortably in the end.
Interestingly, having the shades on top of his head, not on his eyes, and looking into the sun directly. If the particular catch was dropped, he'll be asked many questions. Why the shades are not in his eyes, but luckily for Ravindu Fernando, he managed to hold on to it.
It's just one of those things, isn't it? If things go wrong, you'll be questioned as to why you didn't have the sunglasses on your eyes. Luckily for him, it's a good take.
Very pleased with Dinesh Chandimal's form. 34 of 18, some good shots, good proper cricketing strokes, nice high elbow every time he's trying to strike and take the aerial route. Oh, beautifully bowled. I thought it's the bat, not the pad or the shoe. Hemantha Botheju clearly straight away he knew it was off the bat than the boot. But nevertheless, a great delivery, probably a slow delivery, and swung in.
A superb delivery from Asita Fernando, but clearly bat on ball on that occasion from Nuwanidu, so that saves him. Still, fantastic delivery from the fast bowler.
That's a new delivery that Asita Fernando has developed over the years. It's almost like a knuckle ball. Releases in front of the palm, in front of the fingers. The batsman get fox most of the time with late swing, and the ball dips at the last millisecond. Good length, good line again. Excellent stuff.
Yeah, it's been a good over from Asita Fernando so far. Just the 3 runs and the wicket for the quick. Just what the Blues wanted. This situation, getting the breakthrough as well. Lahiru Udara, the wicket he took with his first delivery. So 5 deliveries gone, just 3 of this over. Can he complete it well?
Right, last ball of the power play. Asita Fernando to Dinesh Chandimal. Slower delivery, nice high elbow again. Luckily Dhananjaya backpedaling, almost had it. Lack of pace off the pitch, almost getting the job done for Asita Fernando. Power play comes to an end. 67 for 2. Signal by the umpire to end the power play. A big opportunity and a big occasion for young Lilan Rangana, a leg spinner, have been spoken highly by the cricketing fraternity in and around the Sri Lanka cricket. HPC is very impressed with his skills, his guile, his mysteryness. So first time I'm watching at him. He starts with a googly. Looks like a bowler who gets through the crease quite quickly, and the pace, I think, generally has to be on the high up.
Yeah, looks to be one of those quicker bowlers. This is domestic record so far. Very, very new into domestic cricket. 8 wickets in 5 games. Also got a reputation for bowling in the power play for Army Sports Club. So he's one of those bowlers who can get the ball quickly through.
Certainly, he will be much quicker. Looking at how the run-up is. Generally, leg spinners will take a little while. The likes of Rashid Khan, reminds a bit of Rashid Khan, just rushes through. Surprise the batter, can get off guard. Shot. Should be just a couple of runs. But that's on Nissanka from long off. That's the fielding.
It's been a decent start from Rangana so far. Just the 3 runs in 3 deliveries. Hasn't really given too much width or any opportunities for the batters to go for big shots.
I think for Novindu Fernando, long off, long on can be a lot straighter. He loves to go down the track, loves to hit straight as possible. And with the pace what Lilan is bowling, long off, long on, straight as possible will be a way forward. Dinesh Chandimal on the other hand loves to use the slog sweep over extra cover. The inside out are the 2 options. Googly again, top edge, and finds Matisha Pathin at 3rd man.
Yeah, lucky Chandimal didn't reach the fielder at short 3rd. So Rangana already looks pretty impressive so far.
Ball again. Good pace, good line, and a very good start by Lilan Rangana. Just 5 runs from that over. It's 72 for 2 after 7. Five bowlers so far been used by the Blues. This was excellent. DDS picked up a wicket of Niroshan Dikwal. Asith Fernando also set the tone. Dasun Shanak was very expensive. Akila bowled a decent over. And Lilan Rangana, first sighter. Still very impressive.
Yeah, he did look impressive. Very quick through the crease. Not giving too much away. I think that's the key. We did see Mahesh Tikshana also bowling similarly well early on in his spell, where he wasn't really giving too much space for the batters to maneuver the ball. So good start for him. We'll have to see. He's got 3 more overs to go.
Matisha Pathin into the attack. Slow ball to start with. Should be just a single.
The pressure is going to be on Matisha Pathirana, isn't it? He's not had a good outing in this competition so far. Hasn't featured in all the games. Would be someone that the Blues would have thought they can depend on to be that wicket-taking bowler. 129 wickets in 96 matches for him in domestic T20. So hasn't really been at the top of his game over the last few months.
Coming back after injury, still he had damaged his hamstring playing a major league one-day game for NCC. But this is his comeback series. It'll take a little time as a bowler, especially no matter how much you bowl in the nets. It's nothing like playing a match. Remember him, watching him in the first game of the SLC T20 league. He looked rusty. I think it's time to find his rhythm, especially when you have a lower body injury, hamstring, the calves, the groins, the thigh. It takes a little while to get the confidence again going. Even a side strain is not the easiest. So the best advice I could give to Matisha is do not rush. Shot! And wonderful effort. Ravindu Fernando almost did the miracle right by saving 5 runs. But what a shot by Dinesh Chandimal. Off a Yorker. 6 given by the umpire.
Yeah, what a great shot. He's timed it so well. Ravindu Fernando almost pulling off an excellent save in the deep on that occasion, but just couldn't get the ball back in the last second.
Yeah, excellent effort by Ravindu. He still has the glasses on top of his head. Long on in place. Dinesh Chandimal finds Dasun Shanaka. After scoring a 6, trying to repeat the action. This time much straighter, and he perishes with Matisha Patirana striking for the Blues.
That's a massive wicket, you've got to say, particularly for Matisha Patirana's confidence. Dinesh Chandimal, he's been looking to be aggressive in this innings. Hits a 6, then goes for another one, but not able to get the middle of the bat. Dasun Shanaka, he's not going to drop that one. Very, very safe hands in the field, particularly in the outfield. So the Blues just keeping themselves in this game. Chandimal goes for 44 of 25. The Greys now 80 for 3.
Skipper in good form lately, Charit Asalanka. He himself as well as Nuendo Fernando have been the stalwarts for the Greys in the middle overs for the Greys, and they'll be hoping that these two batters will get them going again. He's up against Matisha Patirana, his tail's high. Got the big wicket of Dinesh Chandimal. Nervous looks, aren't they still?
Yeah, the Greys look to be running away with the game in that power play. Chandimal and Dikwal are going well. 3 quick wickets have now put the Blues back in the game. Of course, they have to win this if they want to stay in this competition. They've lost 3 out of 3. The Greys have got 1 more game to go. So that's the equation for them now. 99 of 73. If they can get there, the Blues will be out.
Short ball. Big appeal by the wicket keeper, not by Matisha Patirana, not been called wide either. Successful over comes to an end for the Blues. It's 80 for 3. Young Lilan will continue. Lilan Rangana. Impressive first over. And this is his opportunity to surprise and bamboozle the captain of the white ball setup. How many times we've seen. Perfect example I could recall back was Akila Dhananjaya Ajantha Mendes against Mahela Javardhana. And the rest is history. Can Nilan Rangana do the same against Charit Asalanka?
Yeah, these are the opportunities that players have to grab, isn't it? You've got an opportunity to bowl to the captain of the white ball team of Sri Lanka. Impress him and you could find yourself in the national setup within a short period of time.
Surprising for me, not a slip in place. I would love to just to attack the Sri Lankan skipper a little bit, put the pressure on him. Probably Pathum Nissanka captaining for the first time, lacking confidence. I would have easily still have the short third man at first slip. That's for sure. There's plenty of googlies being dished out by Lilan. Two full. Just a single.
Yes, and the Blues have to attack, don't they, Farbreeze? Because winning this game is going to keep them in contention, but they'll want to up their net run rate as well because they've had some big losses in this competition so far. A simple close win is probably not going to do the job for them if the Greys can get over the line tomorrow.
Good point made by you, SL, but I don't think the Blues are worried about getting into the final. Looking at them winning the toss, batting first. If a side wants to look at the net run rate, they'll probably want to bowl first and chase it later. So that is definitely out of the equation with a -2 to come and win a game and get to a plus run rate. It should be a miracle. So I think this is where Pathum Nissanka and the management of the Blues would have thought, right, the best option, get out there, let's bat with a free mind. Give the batsman the authority. And if a situation gets hit, it's a different story. Premeditated stroke by Charit Asalanka.
Just too full to play that shot, wasn't it, as you said? Premeditated from Asalanka. He just gets down on one knee and tries to play the sweep.
Another good over comes to an end by Lilan. 4 singles from his second over. It's 84 for 3. Matisha Pathina just one over, picked up a big wicket of Dinesh Chandimal. He's been replaced now by Akila Dhananjaya. Clearly Pathum Nissanka calling in the shots. Everyone would have thought Masita Pashin after picking up 1 wicket would have continued. This is not to be. 4 fielders in the ring, 5 fielders outside. Beautifully bowled. Tap and run by Charit.
This pair has batted well in this competition. They put on a big partnership in their first game, which they won, the Greys. So they have a good understanding, and that's reflected in the way they've been running between the wickets as well. Nuanidu, of course, very, very quick between the wickets and in the field. Asalanka has responded well.
Just a chip shot. I thought Nuanidu Fernando targeted straight down the ground, but in the end dragged towards long on for a single.
Yeah, his role seems to be to just bide his time, isn't it? We saw that when he made that 70 or 52 deliveries as well. He was going at pretty much run a ball until he was in his 40s before kicking on. So here, he's not looking to take on the bowlers. He's looking to rotate the strike, give the opposite batter the opportunity to score the quick runs while he just stays there, ensures that he gets the Greys to the closing stages of this game.
Taking a little time, both these batters. Understandably, after a couple of wickets fallen in quick succession, still within the limits when it comes to the required rate. Just under 10 runs per over needed. And if these two batters continues in the next 5 to 6 overs, and we've seen in the first innings settled batsman can hurt the bowlers very much well with Kamindu Mendes and Dasun Shanaka, showing us how it's done.
Yeah, absolutely, and we've seen that throughout this competition as well, haven't we? Batters who have the patience to stick around until those latter overs are able to get runs under their belt. That's good fielding from Hashane Bandara. He's been, of course, a standout in the 2 games that he's played in the field.
One more thing also I picked up, Estelle, has been the enthusiasm levels of the Blues side in the field. They're crossing over, they're getting into the position quite quickly, quite a chirpy wicket keeper, the captain being proactive. So maybe just the last game, they want to finish on a high, playing for pride. That's something I also picked up. Oh, top edge. Nicely bowled by Akila Dhananjaya. Just the 4 runs from the 10th over. GREYS 88 for 3, and it's time for some drinks.
Right, that is Colombo for you. Colombo 7, the SSC, and just look at the background, the BMICH and those high rises. And plenty of cricket grounds in the vicinity. You got the NCC, the DS Senanayaka. Immediately behind it is the SSC Nets. And then, of course, you got the NCC beyond. You got the DS Senanayaka grounds. CCC, a test venue some time ago in the 80s, Gamini. So the MCA cricket ground. So plenty of wonderful cricket grounds in and around the place. And these are the wickets. This is Dhananjaya De Silva holding it back, deceiving. Then this was Lahiru Udara's turn to go. Very good catch in the deep. And then Dinesh Chandimal had hit a 6 the previous delivery. And then mistimed a skyer to Dasun Shanaka. So those are the 3 wickets lost for the GREYS. But they're still quite all right. Requiring little over 9 runs and over. And 44 to Chandimal. Dikwala making 21. There is Nuanidu and Charita Salanka. There is Kamindu Wickramasinghe. Saha Narachige will definitely bat higher than that. So, but GREYS, Kamini, they need a partnership.
De Silva opened the bowling, 1 for Sois Asita, and Matisha Patirana in his first over picked up a wicket. But yeah, 6 bowlers being used. Plenty of options. Yeah, you mentioned about a partnership, Roshan. These 2 put up a terrific partnership in that first game, didn't they? For GREYS, Nuanidu and Asalanka. So the ideal combination is out there in the middle. And a lot of experience as well. Nuanidu obviously put the writing on the wall with that magnificent 100 back in Australia just what, a couple of weeks ago. So he's a player in form. first he'll have to handle Ravindu.
Ball macha.
So far we've seen many off spinners in this game operating around the wicket, targeting that leg stump. Very similar feel, one inside the ring and 3 boundary riders. So I'll tell you what, this is good and good. If these two can, like you said, put up a fruitful partnership, this match is going to go down to the wire because it's a terrific contest. 10 overs to go, or 1 ball less in this case. Still very early in their partnership, 9 or 15. So having a look around, first real intention from Charita Sri Lanka, but I miss it for a single.
Yeah, a lot of cricket left in the game, no doubt. And the next 4 to 5 overs can be very decisive because, as we discussed, if they could bat without too many alarms, or in fact no alarms. This time, has he cleared him? He has. Ashen Bandar, the fielder, but Nuanidu Fernando made it look very easy. The execution was perfect.
Yeah, high back lift. Terrific bat swing. Fernando. 44th 6 of this tournament, so there have been a few big ones. Oh, that was a leg cutter, wasn't it? Certainly wasn't the conventional off spin, but gets the treatment because pitched outside the leg stump. That's a free hit. A lot of real estate in that area, the deep square leg. So 10 off the first 2. The intentions are very clear.
See, and also interesting response to the 6. Now, we do know that Ravindu Fernando is an off spinner. I'm not suggesting that he continues to do that, but he comes up with something completely contrasting. The 100 is up, a leg break where he loses his line as well. And again, top edge down towards backward square leg. Should be cut off. It's cut off in the deep. They'll come for 3. Now they'll be happy with 2. Nuanidu Fernando starting to enjoy himself. 23 now of 16.
Incidentally, Roshan, both these batters are from SSC, so they're pretty used to this surface. Having said that, this is not the hardest surface for you to get used to as you come in. Quicker delivery, looking to work it towards long on. Dot ball to finish, still 14 off. Ravindu's first over, 102 for 3 after 11.
Well, that's not frightening. With wickets in hand, under 9 runs and over, the gap just 23, 77 of 54, that's not at all frightening. So, if the Blues are to pull off a win here, it will have to be if they get wickets. So, with this partnership, Asalanka taking his time, he can afford to because Nuanidu is moving quicker, 23 of 17. Lilan Rangana. He's been good with his line and length. Hit with a lot of power. For a moment I thought it would be cut off, but the timing was so good from Charita Sri Lanka. It beat the long on fielder.
Went like a traceable. That was racing away. Look at that bottom hand. 80% of the power comes through that bottom hand. Opening that bottom hand gives you so much of power. Just a short arm jab really, but very well timed. Yeah, you mentioned about the required rate. It's not frightening. Lays back on this one. Into the gap. Oh well. For a moment I thought Nuanidu Fernando was in trouble, but he only needs 5 strikes to get to the other end.
Outstanding running. That's another aspect that has really gone through the roof. This is Akila Dhananjay's throw. A little bit slow to react, and look at Nuanidu Fernando is well in, and the ball was not even in the frame. So we talk about cricket at another level. We talk of batting, how it has evolved and how it has gone to those few notches up. Fielding has been fantastic. bowling has acquired so much of skill, and now the running, amazing. They are so quick, off in a flash, great understanding. I mean, the game has quickened up so much, Gamini. The T20 format has injected so much of life and energy into the game.
Definitely, it's a different ball game, isn't it? In our last in, we spoke about the conditions, the surroundings. From what we have seen so far, Roshan, this lad Lilan, 98% is bowled wrong ones, and very quick ones too at that. Yeah, you mentioned about frightening. Now look at this, 70 off 20, so the difference is 20. Now these days the brain trust, the coach's box speak about how to stay in the run chase and being positive and stay there and thereabouts. Close one, but he was well in. Yeah, how do you calculate is that 20 is the difference, so that's basically 3.5 hits, so that's 3.5 bowls, so we'll take 4 bowls. Other than that, it's a runner bowl, so you have 50 bowls to get 3.5 hits plus runner bowl.
Yeah, that's true. Good assessment. That's a way of looking at it, and then that makes the whole job that much easier. You just break it into those little phases, break it down to little portions, and then that gives you a better idea of where you need to be. Current run rate and the required run rate is under 9 runs and over. Last ball, another single. So 12 overs done. It's 111 for 3.
KJP is on the sidelines after collecting a high full toss on his finger and the arm, and yeah,
it's good to see that he is recovered. I mean, last evening, actually it frightened me because he was on the ground. For a moment I thought that it looked far more serious than what it finally appeared to be, or finally turned out to be. I thought it could be either a shoulder injury, shoulder dislocation. So thankfully, good to see him all right and fit, or at not more than being fit, looking all right compared to what we saw being stretched off the field yesterday.
Yeah, you're right, because a lot of people thought he could have collected on the ribs and broken ribs maybe. It can be quite a horrible feeling when you get hit on those ribs, Roshan, as you would know. That's a nice punch from Tarita Solanka, the first ball. This is a good move. I think GREYS running away with it, with this very experienced pair, and Blues to collect a win in this competition. They have brought Matisha Patirana, ideal bowler, to break the partnership.
Ribs. That's not the only place you don't want to get hit. I'll tell you what, can be very painful business, whether you're batting or fielding or simply playing cricket. I mean, it's seriously painful. 5.5 ounce leather ball is no joke. And yes, and bowled at 140 to 150 Ks. Pace off, that we call a wide.
Yeah, Matisha Patirana, when he is in full flow, such an attacking weapon to have in your system, whether it's T20 or 50 over for that matter. Like I said, penetration is his key, because he likes to get wickets. He targets those stumps, 9 by 28 inches to be precise. But he's got his work cut out here with these two very experienced batters out there in the middle. Oh, firmly hit. It's in the gap. at least 2. Good work in the deep. And good running too. Taking it on the arm, 3 runs. Good cricket all round.
Outstanding stuff. And more you see Nuanidu batting, just look at how perfectly executed that drive is. He's just watching the ball. Nice position to be in. Hitting square of the wicket, and they make it 3 quite easily. This partnership now starting to get its act together. 116 for 3. Asalanka still not into his stride, but Nuanidu definitely. 27 of 21. So Asalanka the batter on strike, and Asalanka able to take his time because A, the asking rate is not frightening, and also Nuanidu is looking very solid at the other end. Short delivery. How far has it gone? I think it's gone far enough. Don't bowl short to your captain. This is the response.
I think it was an attempted shot for a slower one too. Hitting the pitch. He's not the tallest batter you'll ever see, but he's a good skill set to put that away. Key was to get his hands high as possible. See how it's coming. And nice pivot through. Yeah, it was pace on, wasn't it?
Yeah, pace on for sure.
That's a shorter side of the ground, Roshan, around 62 to 63 yards. Very smart batting. Single after getting a maximum.
See, 1 ball to go in the over, but watching the likes of Matisha Patirana, Nuan Tushara, and bowlers with unorthodox actions, styles, it tells you the natural talent that Sri Lanka possesses. There's so much that's coming through, even the young army leg spinner. So it's so good, particularly it lends itself so much to this format, T20 format, where it yearns and begs for players like that rather than the conventional type. Goes for the pull and he gets a boundary. That's a good way to finish the over. It's quite an expensive one. He's gone for 24 in 2 overs, 127 for 3.
.52 or 42. Just a moment ago it was 20, the difference. Now it's 10. Roshan, you mentioned about how these unorthodox players coming day in, day out in Sri Lanka. And when Nazar Hussain came to Sri Lanka only a couple of months ago for the SSC 125th anniversary, and you were there obviously, and he came to the NCC Nets, and I happened to be coaching that day, and then he came and asked me, how do you coach these unorthodox players when you see one? Up in the opportunity, can someone get under it? Oh, oopsie daisy, and she goes down. There was an opportunity for the Blues to crawl their way back in and get this prize wicket of Charita Asalanka. He had to make some ground, mind you, but never easy when you're running in. Did the hard work. But his fingers were in a very awkward position, wasn't it? 2 runs. Single to deep, extra cover. Taking the first one hard. These two got very good chemistry between them. Yep. So Nazar Hussain asked, when you see these unorthodox bowlers, how do you coach them? So I said, you just let them do what they are doing, as long as they land the ball where they want. Do not try to change the technique. That's how we survive with this. Because very often If Malcolm Marshall was in Sri Lanka, he tried to change the action, he would have never been the bowler he was. If Malinga was looking to use his front arm, that's been hit towards square leg, and 4 more.
Yeah, you could pick a lot of names. Paul Adams. Well, that was a amazing action. So quite a few like that, and yeah, this is a very good shot by Nuwanindu, who's moving quickly. He is changing gears at this stage. Dhananjaya attempted leg break, the slog sweep on, and he really seemed to be having a purple patch as a batter. This time looks to go across, gets a single, but yeah, Nuwanindu's looking very good and looking commanding at the crease. 35, 36 of 24. Sri Lanka just giving him support, but still at a very good rate, very good clip in terms of the rate of scoring. 135 for 3. This time goes to sweep, deflects off the umpire. That was 4, I think. The field at backward square leg was aided by the fact that it hit the umpire and slowed down.
Now, in any other game, if even it's rugby or football, it's a free kick. He was a very good cricketer in his days, Chamara Soisa. Even he couldn't avoid that powerful shot. Nicely worked off his hips once again into the gap, taking the first one out. This is a very good example. If you're watching at home, even these most experienced batters, the way they handle themselves in the middle, Roshan, taking the first one out, nothing. You just don't give nothing. 137 for 3 after 14.
So Kamini, we just saw a very interesting, not more than interesting, we saw a situation where the umpire gets hit on the leg and the ball deflects and Dhananjaya De Silva just tidies up. But the very most famous of those incidents, I think, was way back in 1996 when the West Indies played Australia in that World Cup, which Sri Lanka won, and I believe that was the semi-final, and it was Richie Richardson, I think, if my memory serves me right, that swept Shane Warne. And unfortunately, the Sri Lankan umpire, B.C. Kure, was in the way, and I think it deflected off his head, if I'm not mistaken, and a boundary became 2. So the West Indies ended up saying that they were robbed of a certain win, courtesy the leg umpire getting hit. So quite interesting.
Yes, someone told me that week after that when VC Kure came to umpire, and the umpire's room, the other umpire said, "That's one time that I've seen you are using your head."
That's been wicked. That is definitely been wicked. I think BC Kure was a very good umpire in his day. That's a boundary.
He was even a test umpire, wasn't he?
Huh?
He was a test umpire.
Yep. Short delivery, and Sri Lanka quickly onto it and smashed it.
These two are big. Oh, that's been struck with some conviction. And he's a monstrous one. Landed next to the big scoreboard there. Well, these two are going on their merry ways. Roshana Besinger, 148 already.
He's making a statement, isn't he? Sri Lanka not letting the young bowler dictate terms to him. Yes, he was a little bit tentative at the start, but now he's starting to get after him. Boundary, and now a 6, and beautifully done. Just look at how he drags it. The slog sweep, perfect. Oh! Now that stayed down. I think that was an inside edge. Otherwise, that would have been interesting in terms of an LBW.
Yeah, lack of speed nearly brought him on star. Once again, inside edge. Yeah, this is a test and a half for this youngster. Again, dragging his length into the gap. 4 more. Suddenly these two are running away with it. Some quality batting, producing some very loose bowling as well as a result. 153 with that.
See, you put it down to experience, isn't it? This young man from Army, hasn't really figured too much at the highest stage of domestic cricket. So when he's put under pressure, he's wilting a little bit. He's conceded 16 runs. Lilan, 1 ball to go. And make it 17. And within striking distance, the Greys. 15 overs done. 154 for 3.
So that's the batting performance so far from the Greys. Niroshan Dikwala, Dinesh Chandimal getting them off to a great start with that partnership in the power play. 3 quick wickets for the Blues. Put them back in the hunt, but Nuanidu Fernando, Charita Asalanka coming back with another great partnership. Now within touching distance of that total.
Well, Asida Fernando into the attack. He's bowled 2 overs, picking up that wicket. Has conceded 18 runs. ST, these two batters, they had a similar partnership with a similar opponent as well. Now these two batters have added 74 runs for the 4th wicket stand.
Yeah, the Blues have been haunted by some partnerships in this competition. Chamika, Karunaratne, Kamindu Mendes punishing them in 2 games. Nuanidu Fernando, Charita Asalanka doing the same for the Greys. Get that shot by Nuanidu. Just trying to get things done in a hurry, isn't he?
Well, if I'm not mistaken, he could be the highest run getter in this SLC T20 tournament. Nuanidu Fernando, like Roshan said, he's having a purple patch.
Yeah, definitely throwing his name in the hat, isn't it, to be picked up for that Zimbabwe tour and maybe even the Asia Cup coming up. He's been in good form. I like the way he's built his innings right throughout. He's just continued to play well. He hasn't really tried to rush things. He's played his game, hasn't tried to do too much. So it's been impressive so far.
Well, he has grabbed his opportunity, ST. That's what. Getting runs. Been very good in the field as well. So another player performing in this tournament, just like Chamika, Karunaratne, as well as Kamil Mishra. We can't forget him. He's been very good in the field and behind the stumps, getting in a half century as well.
Now the big shot from Charita Asalanka. Good fielding in the deep. Ravindu Fernando, talking about players who've been impressive. He had a good knock today with the bat, but he's been fabulous in the field, hasn't he?
Well, he's running all around, especially in the boundary line areas. Look at this delivery outside the off stump, going for a free flow and stopping. Definitely 2 runs there, Ravindu Fernando. There you see the effort, the commitment. When you get a game in a big stage, 100%.
Yeah, and he didn't play the first 2 games for the Greys, did he? The first game for the Greys came in... Sorry, I beg your pardon. For the Blues, he didn't play the first 2 games. Was given the opportunity in the last game, got a bit of a cameo. Now today, he got another good knock with the bat and he's been fantastic in the field. So, really grabbing the opportunities being thrown to him. Still though, the Blues well behind the game, 157 for 3. The Greys, not much to do. 77 runs in just 48 deliveries, this partnership.
Well, just like Ravindra Fernando and Dashan Chanaka did, it's time for the GREYS batters. Ravindra Fernando, Charith Asalanka, 38 apiece contributing into this partnership.
Big shot from Asalanka this time. That's gone all the way. So he's trying to end things in a hurry as well. No fielder in that area. Just the ball just sitting up for him.
Well, shortest delivery with given over extra cover. Big hit. And probably a slower one. Nice meat on it, isn't it? And it was over extra cover. That fielders just watching the ball racing over. And now the best thing is the 38 run from both these two batters. Earlier I was mentioning that, but right now look at the score, 44 each.
Yeah, both of them have contributed well to the GREYS cause. Just the finishing touches to be done now. Charith Asalanka guides that one to the fielder at deep point to end the 16th over. So 164 for 3, the GREYS now. So 15 of 24 it is what is required from the GREYS in this SLC T20 league. We are in day 5 of the competition and we might see the end of one team already. The Blues, if they do go on to lose this, and it looks likely that they will, that will be the end of their campaign. They have no chance of making it through to the final after losing all of their games. The GREYS, on the other hand, they've been impressive against the Blues. Didn't have a great game against the Greens the other day, but they'll want to make amends tomorrow. Yeah, there's still a little bit of cricket left. 15 of 24 required.
Oh, look at the pictures, ST. Such a beautiful picture from the drone.
Matisha Patirana continues. Asalanka, he's hauled out in the deep. It's a funny game, cricket. You never know what's going to happen until the last ball is bowled. Matisha Patirana bowls it wide. Asalanka goes for the big shot over the top. Ends up finding the fielder at deep third.
Well, Matisha Patirana, some redemption. Needed some wickets, bowling that wide outside the off stump, getting this wide ball skipper. Miscued shot, slicing it, probably not getting the middle part of the bat, bottom part of it. So Asalanka departs for 45, GREYS 164 for 4.
So Sahan Arachige will be the new batter for the GREYS. His first game of this competition. That's his record in domestic T20s. 84 matches, just over 1,000 runs. He'll want to up that strike rate a little bit, particularly as he bats in that lower middle order. But a decent record for the left-hander. Straight away, he's off the mark. Sahan Arachige with a quick single. Hit to mid-wicket. Rangana with the fielding. Not much damage done with that throw.
Well, first ball single. Any batter would like that. to get off the mark. Elsahan Arachi was facing his teammate. Both plays for NCC. Vilnuanithu Fernando got an unbeaten 70 runs against the same opponent in the first game for the GREYS. And now, impressively, he's doing it. A repeat telecast from Vilnuanithu Fernando.
Yeah, in that game, he played very much the anchor role for the GREYS. It's another good shot from him. At least a couple. I mean, the Fernando with the fielding. Yeah, in the previous game, he played very much the anchor role, looked to rotate the strike, get to the end of the innings. Today, it's been different from him. He's been a lot more aggressive.
Well, Ravindra Fernando, probably he has covered 2-3 kilometers today, running here and there for sure. Even while batting, he had some running to do. But he's been outstanding in the outfield areas.
Once again, Ravindra Fernando having to do the fielding. Quick onto the ball, but they pinch 2 runs again.
Well, that was placed to the gap, so definitely it's 2 runs for the batter. A huge gap between the extra cover and the cover point fielder. Lot to cover for Ravindra Fernando. There's he pushing the first run hard. Long strides, Vilnuanithu Fernando.
Is that a wicket? A big appeal from Matisha Patirana. Umpire says not out.
Well, I heard a noise. Probably the bat hitting the ground there. I see, yes. An appeal from Nishan Madushka. Wasn't happy about it.
Not the last delivery from Matisha Patirana. He's gone down the leg side once again. In terms of discipline, he's been better in this game, hasn't he, Rajiva? But hasn't really had the results that he would want. That time going down the leg side, it's wide. Chipped in the air, Vilnuanithu Fernando. Instead going down to the boundary, no, Dhananjay De Silva will stop it. But they come back for 2, and that's another half century for Vilnuanithu Fernando. He's been in really great touch so far, so the GREYS now inching towards that win. 172 it is after 17 overs. This is Vilnuanithu Fernando's knock so far. Has used the long handle to great effect, especially against the spinners. He's been good on the front foot, on the back foot. He's found plenty of boundaries in this innings so far. Single to start. Akila Dhananjay's over. Got to think this might be the last over of this game.
Well, he's been good. He's in good touch, good form, timing the ball well, middling it towards those gaps, especially when he gets on his arc. He gets a boundary.
Oh!
It's a wide from Akila Dhananjaya, bowling the wrong one, the googly. Well, some confusion probably. The scoreboard says 179, which is the target. It should be incorrect. According to us, it's 174. So, I mean, even we are confused what's going on out there. But probably the win for there. You see, the scoreboard says 179.
Yeah, a bit of confusion out there. The umpires have decided to shake hands, so guess that signals the end of the game. Our count seems to suggest that there's still 5 runs to be gotten, but nevertheless, no doubt about the result in the end, Rajiva. The Greys comfortably getting home. Nuanidu Fernando, once again the star for them, in a bit of bother when he came into bat, but he's taken them home with a chanceless innings.
Well, what more you can ask? Winning 4 tosses, but on 4 occasions you're losing the game. Blues have lost all 4 games, and at the end it's another easy win for the Greys. They've outcome here as a gun blazing side alongside the Greens. Greens are unbeaten so far yet, but the Greys outstanding. Good start they had with Chandimal and Dikwala getting into a good start. 55 runs in the first wicket partnership, but then some part in the middle when they were 80 for 3, and that partnership for 84 runs between Nuanidu and Charit Asalanka setting the tone.
Yeah, it's been a comprehensive win, hasn't it? They've been good all round. It's just at the beginning and the end of the Blues batting innings where they look to be under a bit of pressure. Other than that, they've been on the top of their game throughout this game. The Blues, on the other hand, as you rightly said, 4 tosses won, 4 matches lost. So something has to be addressed in the middle. Of course, this competition, this team put together just for this competition. Here are the highlights of the innings. Dikwala, Chandimal, they were scratchy in the first game of this tournament, but today a lot more fluent with the bat. Got them off to a great start. Chandimal in particular looked very impressive. Got going with that boundary, then played a couple of classy shots over the top of the infield. That one in particular probably the shot of the day from him. Dikwala in his customary fashion, making room, moving around the crease, going after the bowling, and there were no answers for the Blues, whether they bowl their quicks or their spinners, just not able to pick up the wickets. Akila Dhananjaya came on into the attack, was greeted with a boundary from Chandimal. At the end of the day, it turned out to be Dhananjaya De Silva who made the breakthrough, but the run flow continued for the Greys. Asita Fernando picked up the wicket of Lahiru Dara. That man, Ravindu Fernando, we spoke about him and how good he was in the field. Chandimal will be disappointed with that dismissal because he was going great guns.
Well, then came these 2 partners, the club mates. There you see, Nuanidu Fernando getting off to a good start alongside Charit Asalanka, the white ball skipper. From 80 for 3, these 2 batters anchored the innings of that 84-run stand for the 4th wicket. Well, there was no chance for the bowlers. There was a chance given, but still, these 2 batters going on down the line for the Greys. A comprehensive victory. Well, Nuanidu Fernando, how well he has been in this tournament so far. He has got more than 100 odd runs, 130 plus runs probably, with 2 unbeaten half centuries. So that's the most significant point, and a batter getting runs, but still he's not out. How good he has been for Nuanidu Fernando. His outing, like Roshan said, a nice purple patch for him.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's getting the job done for your team as well, right? He's been in a couple of chasers, made those runs when the team has been in trouble. Couple of extras at the end of the innings that ended things for the Blues. Another comprehensive performance, as we said, from the Greys to finish things off.
So the batting card, and Dikwal and Shandimal get into a start, and then Laherudara didn't contribute. Madnunidu, there's he not out on 55, and Charit Tasalanka, he got 45 with 10 extras, with 5 penalty runs were given because they didn't start the over within the 60 seconds. That's what happened. The scoreboard mentioned in that 179 runs.
So that was the confusion then, the 5 penalty runs being given. That's the bowling performance from the Blues. No one really to talk about. Dhananjay De Silva, the most economical, and that should tell you a story, isn't it, Rajiva, when you've got maybe an all-rounder part-time spinner being your most economical bowler. Wickets for Matisha Patirana, Asita Fernando and De Silva, but not good enough to get the Blues over the line. As I say that, we'll join Farveez Maharoof down at the ground where he has the captain and the player of the match from the winning team.
I have been joined by the winning captain Charit Tasalanka. Runs with the bat, good bowling and captaining well as well. Charit, everything seems to be going really well for you all.
Of course, yes. I think today went very nicely for our side. I mean, all 3 departments have been done really well.
Were you slightly surprised with the decision by the Blues winning the toss batting first? With the game they had to win. They had to win with a big margin. Ideally, they should have been chasing. Were you surprised with them batting?
Little bit, yes. But I would have done fielding because first 2 games we had to bat first, yeah. Yes.
And going into the final tomorrow, dress rehearsal, I'm pretty sure you will give a chance to the youngsters to play the game. And a big final coming up. Do you think all boxes has been ticked, or you think there's an area to improve?
I think still there are few areas to improve, especially death bowling and our fielding little bit.
And leading up to the Zimbabwe tour, Charit, as well as the Asia Cup coming up, as a captain, you think the squad what you'll have in mind are in super form and everything going well leading up to those big tournaments?
I think most of the guys are in good touch, but few guys need to fire up before the Zimbabwe tournament, I think.
And on form of Asita Fernando seems to be really, really good, isn't it?
Yes, he's bowling well, especially with his he has improved his slow ball skills lot. That's the difference, I think.
And looking at the tournament, how much it has helped this tournament? I mean, as a captain, you would have liked to watch the youngsters also, as well as the players who are playing at the moment. How much this tournament have helped as a captain to have a good witness of all of them?
I mean, there are many ways it helps us, because I believe that we are lacking of T20 cricket domestically.
Correct.
That's why we decided to play this tournament before the important Asia Cup and the World Cup. And I just want to see, I could see, but a few more youngsters need to fire.
I mean, as always, pleasure to talk to you, Charit. Good luck tomorrow as well as the finals.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'll be joining by the informed veteran Dinesh Chandimal. Chandi, very well batted after a while. Seems to be very, very happy with your knock today.
Well, I'm over the moon. To be honest, it was a really good pitch. So I mean, thanks to Dick also. You know, he's playing positive cricket. Yeah. So yeah, I'm really happy that I played.
Apart from the first game when you were bowled to Dilshan Madusang for absolutely beautiful ball, today seems to be something different, which I picked up. You were trying to hit much straighter. Is that something you came with a game plan for today's game?
Yeah, after first couple of games, I realized that my shape is not there.
Right.
So I did some bat drill at home.
Bat drill in the night?
In the night,
at
home. So 1 hour bat drill yesterday.
Right.
So I wanted to keep that shape. So that's what I did today, and it works finally.
And looking at this side, seems to be everything going towards wonderfully well oil machine. Tomorrow's game is going to be important also, though you already qualify for the final, isn't it?
Yeah, of course. So far we are playing a really good tournament, and we have one more game before we go into the final. So we need to finish well in the first round, and looking forward to the final as well.
As always, Dinesh, pleasure talking to you. All the best to you.
Thank you so much.
The news out from here from Dinesh Chandimal, especially even at this stage, he's doing bad drills previous night and the reaping his rewards in today's game. Back to you, commentators.
Yeah, those are the thoughts from Dinesh Chandimal and skipper Charita Solanka. They are through to the final. So this is what happened in this game. The Blues, after being under pressure, put on a decent total on the board, 178 for 6. Dasun Shanaka with a late flourish, 35 of 19. Ravindu Fernando, extremely impressive, 41 of 24. Garuka Sanket, the top wicket taker for the Greys with 2 for 46. In that chase, the Blues did have the Greys under a bit of pressure, but then Nuanindu Fernando, Charita Solanka coming together, putting on another big partnership. Nuanindu once again finishing unbeaten with a half century in this competition. He's got one more game in the group stage before they reach the final to really stake his claim for the Sri Lankan side. Dinesh Chandimal also making 44. The Greys ending up with a 6-wicket win with plenty of deliveries to spare.
Well, there's one more game left in this tournament so far. It's the dress rehearsal. Tomorrow, the Greens versus the Greys. They will definitely qualify for the finals on the 16th. But tomorrow will be the time and the ideal occasion for the youngsters to try out for both these two teams. The Greens will play Greys tomorrow here at SSC at 1:15 p.m. So that's it from all of us here from SSC, and have a pleasant evening. Stay tuned tomorrow, and we'll be back at 1:15 p.m.